do a sound check. Who with me? Hit the sound. Let me know if you're here with me. Hit the like. Share it. I dare you. Let me change this light over. I'm start daring my folks. What's good? Happy Monday to you. What's good? Hush Gray, what's happening? Queen? Let me get my stuff together here. What's good with everybody? We here. We bouncing. It's a Monday. Does this Monday feel like a Monday to you? Let me get this camera set right. I apologize. I hate to keep saying I wasn't coming, but it's the truth. Today was a rough day for me to get on the microphone. I've traveled this weekend. And hold on one second. Let me just get this thing going. All right, let's make sure we're good. I got somebody hitting my door. So my dog is barking. You'll be able to hear him screaming at the gate. Shared. What's good? Thank you, Hush. I appreciate you, sis. What's good? How was everybody's weekend? How was everyone's weekend? Let me get rid of some of this stuff. Maybe it's just me. Short show today, I promise. I got a lot going on. I need to finish up some emails. I took off a day of the week, and quite honestly, when I take off, it really slows me down. One day off could really set me back 2 to 3 days. Anybody have a job like that? Anyone have a schedule where if they take one day off, it could really set them back major? What is going on with my... Let's see if I can fix this thing, guys. I apologize. Anyone else have that type of job where when they miss a day, the emails pile up, the workload piles up? Sean D. Nutter, what's good? Said you treating everyone? Sure. I'm here. I'm here. What more treat do you need? What's good? Yeah, Alethea says, bro, it tears me up. In your profession, I'm sure it does. You know what I'm saying, sis? Like, you can't afford to take off a day. Shit, you 3-4 clients behind. That shit crazy. When you gonna make that back up? You know, it's hard to do that. I'm not saying you can't, obviously, but it leads to a late night. You know, it tear your timing up. It take you out of circulation. It take you out of play for 2-3 days when you stay up all night. You know, you got a client, you got to stay with them, and you work until 10 and 11 o'clock at night. See, to be honest with you guys, I'm just gonna be real. I don't really have a problem with it, but I'm not what I used to be. Like in business, when I was a young man, I worked all day, all night. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I had the energy to do it, and I felt like it was necessary. I did it all the time because it was necessary. Like, I felt like if I didn't do it, somebody else would. And if I wasn't there, someone else would beat me to the work. Someone would beat me to the qualm, to the money, to whatever. You know, building a clientele was that was the one and only thing that I looked towards when I first started out. It was not how much money I was making off of each person. I had a clear understanding that I didn't have to make a lot of money off of everybody. I started out just wanting to make a profit off of you. And if that happens, then generally when you treat people with the utmost respect and you treat them, right, they generally tell people. And when they tell you, oh, go see my dude, or go that's my guy. When they tell you that, you make more money in the long run. You make $25 off of them, but they'll send you $200. So now they're worth $225 to you. You know what I mean? So I've always been that way. I look at it that way. I treat my clients that way. And I expect to be treated that way when I go places and I do things. You know, I give restaurants and some places, I give them a couple chances. And once I see that they're not really about customer service, or they're not about, putting their customer first, I move on, bro. It's just too many other places out there that'll give you what you need for your money. It's just like people. I'll tell you what you need to hear, or I'll tell you what I want you to know to maybe be successful at whatever we're trying to, whatever you're trying to do. But I ain't gonna like try to pound it in your head. I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell people what they need to do to be successful at what they do. And then when you tell them, they act like you telling them some shit that's impossible. Have I ever come on this platform or on my own platform? Have I ever said anything, or have I ever said something to you that was not doable? No, because everything we talk about over here has been done. It's been done. Any achievement, any accomplishment, anything we talk about over here, it's been done. We ain't inventing no wheels. We're not inventing the water. We're not doing any of that. Which is basically a confidence builder. Like, it can be done, sis. Get to a point where you're pumping out 25 cakes a day, 25 pies a day. If you want to be a number one podcaster in the country, or whatever your aspirations are, you can do it. You can actually do it. You can put your mind to it, structure yourself to do it. Don't judge me, because that's not what I want to be. Like, I'm doing fine with what we got going on here. Y'all don't understand how difficult. I'm just going to speak a little bit from experience, like I always do. I don't like going to the mall in Cincinnati and seeing somebody and they talk to me like I'm a podcaster versus my profession. See what I'm saying? I don't like that, because opinions can get out of hand. My job, my work that I do for you, if you're a client of mine, you will always have the utmost respect for me because of how I treat you. I will always have the utmost respect for you because of how you treat me. See what I'm saying? That's just how it go. But this podcasting shit, if you think that I can't level up on this, you're mistakenly wrong. Here come, hey Hosh, here go where the people become haters. When you have so much confidence in yourself, or when you really speak the truth, people begin to hate you a little bit. But the truth of the matter is, I'm going to be great at whatever I do because I know I can be great at whatever I do. I'm never going to do something half-assed unless I want it to be half-assed. And what I mean by that is this. Let me clear that up. Podcasting. I could blow this show up if I really wanted to and invest in it and do some things. I'm not trying to do that. I still work every day, and I don't want to commit the kind of time that it takes to be able to do that. I don't really want to do that. You feel me? We got a couple birthdays going on today. Before I move on, let me just say this. Stephanie Hyde said, happy birthday to your daughter, Michelle. I don't know who that is, but put it in the screen, cuz. But I do have a birthday shout out that I want to give to Sabrina Calloway. And I just want to say she is a special person to me. She's been here for a very long time. As far as we've been in existence, 5.5, almost 6 years, it'll be in March. And she's pretty much been around. I'm going to call her an OG on the Wyatt Live show. She's been in and out, because sometimes, she has her words with a few people, and she'll be like, look, I ain't got time. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her. She'll be like, hey, I don't have time to be dealing with people that think a certain way. And then when you say something that's different than how they feeling, they want to get all that one kind of way and get in their feelings and then start calling you names and stuff like that. Everybody's not built for that. Everybody's not built to be able to have someone have a difference of opinion, and then they want to start name calling and all that old goofy shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple of instances where I remember she was on the air. She's called in before and made some valid points, and she's made some comments in the screen. And then you got people that just play these small ass bullshit ass games, and they don't understand that some people aren't, like, including myself, I'm not adjusted to this fake ass pretend I care ass world, or pretend that I'm down and all that. I'm not on that shit, bro. Everybody not one of those fake fraud ass run with the think tank circle type people. So they really mean what they say. Sabrina Calloway is one of those. She ain't never came on here perping. She ain't never came on here talking about something that wasn't a life experience. That's why she's been here so long. That's why she can relate to the program that we bring here each day. She don't agree with me on everything. I know she don't. We've talked about it. She's just a good person by nature. And the bottom line is, when you have people like that, she has thick enough skin to be able to maneuver through nonsense. However, when it gets to a certain point where people just start saying things just to be right to her, just to get her out of position, out of body, they do that to me too. And it's all good. But I bring myself on here to do this. I open myself up for criticism. I open myself up to be objective too. Okay. But some of you guys don't deserve to be treated that way. And what I've learned over these years is the reason why most people are silent we might have 1,000 people watching on all the different programs, and we might only see 4 or 5 people that call in, 3 or 4 or 5 people out of 1,000 that call in. And believe it or not, a lot of people engage in this platform after the live. You know what I mean? After the show is over with, they watch the show and they can't call in, or maybe they would. We're doing work hours. Everybody can't call in during work hours. Everybody can't, send messages during work hours. However, everybody's not built to be able to take the nonsense clap back that some people give on these platforms. Everybody's not built that way. I've even lost it a few times. I've gotten out of body and said some things because people get under my skin. And what I've learned is people actually they actually do that on purpose, because that's the relevance that they have in these platforms. Like, they want to be known for something. You know what I'm saying? They want to be known to be the instigator. Or somebody want to be an instigator. Somebody want to be the person that thinks opposite of everybody. Somebody wants to go against the grain. Somebody wants to be the smartest person in the room. Some people want to just agree with some people. Some people want to disagree with everything. That's just the makeup. That's just the makeup. And bro, can you believe that? Y'all gotta understand, Mallethead was a big bro. He wasn't my big bro. Matter of fact, he didn't pay no attention to me. I used to look up to Mallethead on the basketball court back in the day. My brother Mallethead got married over the weekend. I ain't think I'd ever say no shit like that. But big ups to big bro, man. Mallethead, that's Britain and them big bro. He the big bro of the Britton family. And Ed, you popping that in the screen, let me know right then and there. Like, I was gonna talk about it, but most people don't know him. They don't know Mallet like that. You know what I'm saying? But I never thought he must be listening to the show. I know his bros do. I know Maine do. But like, listen, man, all that shit that I be talking about, a lot of people who pretend that they ain't listening, they know my shit is real. When I say, if you want to protect a black woman, the first thing you should do is maybe marry one. They know that shit is 100. They know that shit is real. You can't keep going around busting kids and all these women and having all these kids all over the place. They don't really know you. And then at least he came to, not Mallet per se, but at least my brothers, my OGs, are starting to find them a woman and settling down. I know they don't have the energy that they used to have. So that might be part of the reason. But the biggest reason, I believe, is they finally come to grips of right from wrong. They understand the importance of having a woman in their life that really, really, really loves them and offers more to them than just the physical. You understand what I'm saying? It takes men a lot longer. Sometimes it takes us to get to the age of 40, maybe 50 years old. But we eventually get there, ladies. Just be patient. Jack said that MF wouldn't miss hooping every day. Show me somebody in the city of Cincinnati that played more basketball than Mallethead. He's such a neighborhood star on the basketball court. I could interview him and he'll have some gangster ass stories. He'd have some stories right here on the air that everybody would trip out of and love. I guarantee you he would have a good time. I don't know his personality. I don't know if he's really the type of person that can sit down in an interview and enlighten a room, like have fun. Because I haven't talked to him in a long time. But as a big brother, like when we were all going to the Boys and Girls Club together and we was out playing, you know, it used to be him, KK. Everybody thought KK was my brother because him and I look alike. We had the same skin tone and we had the same mannerisms. But KK older than me. Y'all, Ed, you probably know K. But he older than me. That was a whole nother, you know, situation. But I mean, you know, group, that little older group. But yeah, them guys would go from neighborhood to neighborhood and play basketball. You know what I'm saying? That's what Mallet was known for. Alethea said, did y'all? Okay, Roz deserved this. Roz deserved this because he gives some of these women in here a hard time. Roz says, but they call him Mallethead, though. He been Mallethead since we was children. I don't know where that came from, bro. You don't know where these guys get their damn nicknames. We didn't have nicknames since we was 6 or 7 years old. 6 and 7. You hear me? Alethea says, did y'all see Roz Freeman grandson is bigger than him? I seen that. Roz, they going in on you. You got a handsome little grandson. But bro, how that little dude bigger than you? Nothing but love, family. Oh man, David Herring, what's up, bro? What he say? He said, build a legacy with a queen and win. Absolutely, man. You can't tell these guys that shit. And when you do talk like that, they think you lame. They think you lame, bro. They think the nice guys are lame. I guess at one point. See, here's the thing. What can we have a real conversation for a hot second, ladies? Y'all love to call. Y'all like to say men ain't shit and all this old shit. But let me explain something. The power that you all have. Fellas, y'all need to log off for a second. Let me wait 3 seconds. I'm gonna take a sip. All the fellas need to hit the mute button or no, the can't hear button. Y'all need to hit that button so I can tell the ladies a quick secret. All right, you got 3 seconds. When I do like this, all the fellas come back in. All right, starting now. Okay, ladies, the fellas have logged off for a hot second. I got to tell you a secret. I think I've told you this secret before. Stop saying men ain't shit, okay? Stop. Let me tell you why. Because the same men that you say ain't shit and running around the neighborhoods and having babies and ain't taking care of their kids and this and this and this and that, those are the same men that if you set the bar a little higher, if your standards were higher, if you was dealing with the right dude, if you were valuable to him, let me back that up a little bit. You ain't gonna like this. I'm sorry. I'm saying this so the fellas won't go in on this real information. If you were more valuable to this man, he wouldn't treat you the way you're being treated. You get it? If you were more valuable, if your value was worth not losing, he would not do the things that where you could call him a bad man. But see, what happened is this. You set your bar and you set your standards so low that you end up with an ain't shit ass dude. That ain't his fault. Okay? The reason why I say this to you is this, family. And I know y'all ain't gonna like this. You don't like this truth type shit. The reason why I say that is this for this reason here. Women dictate how a household is going to be ran. A man will run it. But women, y'all heard that old saying, that old bullshit ass saying, happy wife, happy life. It has some truth to it. There's a little bit of truth to it. But if a man wants you bad enough, if he wants you bad enough, he'll alter his whole life for you. And if he's not willing to alter his whole life for you, then he's not the right man for you. So how is it that you got you a bad man, or these men ain't shit? Is it that they don't want to alter them lives for you and you allow them to do what they want to do? Then how is that his fault? How is he a bad man because he can do what he want to do with someone that don't value he don't have no value for you? Because I'm going to tell you something. Real men know when they have the right one, and he'll do whatever he has to do to keep her. Thank you, Sean D. Sean D, get out this conversation. You ain't even supposed to be here. He said, but it's real. He said he will pull his pants up. You see what I'm saying? He will pull his pants up. He will not sell dope. He will not sit on the couch and eat Cheerios and shit while you at work. He'll clean. He'll make sure everything that go on in the house is pure. He'll make sure everything. But ladies, I just got to tell you something that you ain't gonna like. You're not gonna like this shit. I hear it all the time. Man ain't shit. Man ain't shit. No, you just ain't got a good man because your standards are low. Shitty people gravitate to shitty people. Why you say that? I mean, I'm not saying every marriage is a happy home. Most of them are pretty solid. They get better as you have kids. I'm not suggesting that everybody's perfect, but I'm gonna tell you who has a miserable life. A miserable. I'll tell you what, ladies. Answer this question for me, ladies. I'm about to bring the men back in here in a second, but I got a quick question. Maybe y'all can help me out because y'all females and y'all think a certain way. You don't think how I think. I just gave you the men. I just gave you a male's point of view, a perspective of a male of why men do what they do to women. Okay, but now here's my question to you, ladies, before the men come back in. Who do you think is more miserable? Let's be honest. Be honest with me because we got people on here that are married and single, ladies, right? Answer this before I bring the men back in. Do you think a wife who's unhappy is more miserable? Or do you think a single woman out here with no husband is more miserable? Can somebody put that in for me? I'm going to pose that same question to the men. I just wanted y'all to get a head start of answering that question. That ain't the topic of the day. It's just some shit I've always wanted to know. Okay? Do you think a woman who's married is more miserable in a bad relationship than a woman who's single and is miserable in no relationship, looking for relationships? Who do you think is more miserable? And the only reason why I bring that up, I'll explain it because it sounds negative, but I'm gonna find a positive in there for you somewhere. I promise you. Linda Reed says some married people are more miserable. That wasn't a question. That wasn't the question. I just want to know, Linda, do you think since you said something, and I love you, but I just want to know, do you think a woman who's married is more miserable than a woman who's single and both of them are miserable? Okay. But do you think the woman that's married is more miserable than the woman who's single? And I'll give you my opinion here after I see enough. Everybody's saying, almost everyone is saying the wife. Except Twin says women who he said women who is single. I know what he meant. All right. All right, let's see. Preston, I think the wife. Preston, you're a man. Get up out this. I'm about to wave. Y'all just so hard head. Unhappy men is more miserable. See how everybody want to answer the damn question? See how they all got to put some other stuff in it? My sister Alethea says unhappy men is more miserable, married or single. Now, we ain't on the men. Married women, because they're trapped. Princess Flower said married women because they're trapped. LaDonna said married more miserable. Donna says been there, done that. Okay. Linda Reed said yes, women that's married. Roz says married women. Roz, get out of here, bro. You're not in this conversation yet. Mama Birch says married more, deadbeat husband. Alethea says, read my comment. Okay, I'll try to get to it. Let me see if I can. Donna said, dummies doesn't count. Okay. Okay, here's somebody. Dina, who will come with. I haven't read it yet, Dina, but at least she's usually on point about some shit. I ain't saying I agree, D. I'm just saying you at least have some very Good point sometimes. Dina says a single woman can leave at any time. A wife will feel more obligated to stay. But wait a minute. A single woman is not in a relationship. So what is she leaving? I hear you. I agree if we were talking about a single woman who was in a relationship with somebody that's not, there's no commitment there. They probably don't have any children, they don't have any bills together, they don't have anything. I understand that. A wife will feel more obligated to stay. Got you. Because she has an attachment. There's usually a financial attachment, there's usually a family attachment, there's usually something there more that's more than just him and her. You see what I'm saying? It's usually more to it. So I understand your point of view. However, that's probably more of a reason to try to work things out. I wouldn't marry someone if I felt like we don't have the same morals and principles. So maybe it's not about the things maybe it's more about things that can be fixed when you're in a marriage versus just a single person. That's just my opinion. Michelle Hardy says, I don't know. I know if I'm not happy, my husband is not about to be. That's the realest answer on here. That's the realest shit that's been said on here today. Single, miserable. Oh, that's twin. Let me skip that. Okay, fellas, come on in. Come on. I can't have an all women show. This shit'll be crazy. Twin says, Randall Wyatt, what Montel Williams shit you on today? Oh no, maybe we'll learn something about one another today. Maybe men will learn something about women and women will learn something about men. Y'all know I really want to talk about my Bengals and I really want to talk about Bud. But I thought I'd just jump on here and get the ladies because they're going to be leaving in a minute because they don't want to hear this shit I'm about to talk about. Oh boy, let me read a couple more comments before I go to the phone line. There's a whole Stephanie Hyde said married women because they may be in a abusive relationship, not knowing how to get out. Okay. A Williams, Aaliyah Williams says single but married. Excuse me, single but married if you don't know God and his word. Jack says, and I'm gonna read this because I think he might have put this in after I invited the guys back. He says black women divorce their mate 80% of the time, so the answer from the ladies are valid. I don't know about that. I think that's the opposite of what they're saying, Jack. Think about it. You said it's hard for women. They say women that are married are trapped. You see what I'm saying? 80% divorce don't sound like somebody that's trapped. Trapped would sound more like, oh, we only got a 20% divorce rate. Because if it's only 20% that's being divorced, that means 60% of them, based on who wanna leave, 60% of that base would be trapped. So if you have a divorce rate, if that number is accurate, I could probably look it up. If that's accurate, if 80% sounds very high to me, but if 80% is the number, that doesn't sound like a group of people that are trapped. I know divorce rates are higher now than they've ever been before. I get that. However, the reason being is because of bad judgment. All right. I think back in the day, the reason why divorce rates were so low is because people were trapped. Women didn't do what they are doing today. Women weren't breadwinners. They weren't making a bunch of money. They were marrying at much younger ages. Remember the days, some of y'all fellas remember these days. I'm not saying we lived in these times because I've been around 50 plus years and I can't remember a time where in my neighborhood or in my era, if you got them pregnant, you had to marry them. That was before us. So that had to be in the 50s, maybe the early 60s, probably before that, 30s and 40s. See what I'm saying? In the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, if you got them pregnant, you married them. That's probably more of a trap situation. But when you have a divorce rate of 80%, that don't sound like a bunch of trap people to me. So, all right, let me go to the phone lines real fast. Jack said no. Excuse me. He says no. The women are saying they're feeling trapped and running that case. They control staying together. Okay. I'm gonna tell y'all my opinion on that when I get to it. All right. Let me go to the phone lines real fast. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Yes, Wyatt, greatest day to be alive. We won on both ends. Then we boxing and football. Cincinnati rocks. Oh, Omaha, Nebraska rocks. Hey, this is the greatest weekend of my life, Wyatt.
Woo.
Greatest weekend of my life.
Who they?
Who they? I made money, man. I'm gonna send it to your messenger, man. I got the money. I got the tickets that I bet on Crawford.
You do know that you don't send through Messenger. You send through Cash App.
You got it on there? You got it on your shit?
Wait a minute, bro. You talking about you about to send me something on Messenger about how much money you made? I don't need shit through Messenger.
Nigga, I'm about to send you some paper if you tell me the Cash App. We didn't got past that. You don't have to repeat it. What's understood don't need to be explained, brother.
Keep your money, brother.
What's your Cash App called?
I'm just messing with you. I was giving you a hard time because you was.
I know, but I'm really gonna give you some paper.
Did you do good?
You earned it.
Did you do good? Did you do well? Did you do good?
Yeah, I did well with the Bengals and the Bud. Me and you are the same person.
Okay, well, let me just say this. Let me just say this.
What?
Just to be fair, hold on, CK. I promise I'll let you finish. Just to be fair, I don't really bet football. I don't know enough. I don't know like that. Football is different. It's injuries and all this old stuff that go on, and it's hard to, I don't know about football like that. I know football really well, but not enough to say I'm going to put my money on it. Boxing's a different story. So just to be fair to you, I did not bet on the Bengals game. I never do.
Me neither.
Right? I thought you said you made money on both of them. That's what I thought I heard you say.
No, but the emotional attachment we had to that Bengals victory because it was close, wasn't it, brother?
Yeah.
It was close.
Yeah. John Ludd said won the battle but lost the war. 3 to 4 months is too long. I don't know. I'll tell you when I start talking about the Bengals, John Ludd, I'll tell you why I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that happened. Okay.
We lost them for 3-4 months for real? Joe Burrow?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything concrete. I'm not suggesting that John Ludd is not telling the truth. I just think that, a turf toe, it may require surgery, then it may not.
Okay.
It all depends. I'm hearing 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then I'm hearing 3 or 4 months. You see what I'm saying? So it all depends. Yeah, but I'm going to tell y'all here in a little bit why I don't think it's that big of a deal. But then I'm going to tell you why I feel like I seen this coming. I seen this coming a long time ago, CK. Joe Burrow been running for his life for the last 4 years.
Yes.
Running for his life. Soon as he say hut, he already he already running.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but what you got, man? What's going on?
Now, see, what happened was I bet the money on Bud Crawford.
Okay.
And by me betting on him, he came through like a champion, sir. And 140 down? He was down, and he made it, luckily. Yeah. He luckily made it down. And by him doing that, I won all the money. And I think it was the greatest victory in boxing history for one-on-one fights. For him to come up 3 weight classes, Wyatt, tremendous. And I do put him on the Mount Rushmore of boxing. He's on the Mount Rushmore, top 4 boxers ever to live, sir, because of his accomplishment. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. There's no other fighter that I would want to watch fight right now. I'm talking of any era. Any era.
Mm-hmm.
I want Bud to fight every great fighter in every weight class if it was possible. Okay, so I think that he has now earned I knew what he was capable of, but he is now at the point now where I love the fact that he's still active. He's my favorite fighter of all time. And guys,
whoa, I like that. I like that last what you just said. Washington. Okay.
You got to understand. I know some doozies. I mean, I'm friends with a few people, and they understand why I feel the way I feel. I called Roy and was like, "Hey, man, you're gonna have to slide. You're gonna have to slide over a little bit, bro. We got to make room for little bro." He was like, "Yeah, this shit is crazy. 3 weight classes up, bro," and he made it look that easy. I'm on the phone with people like, "Oh my God!" Even at 2:00 in the morning, you know what I mean? It was late.
And you should be extra proud because you predicted it. Remember, I didn't have faith. You did. I didn't. Remember, I was terrified and scared and praying. You remember you told me to just calm down, CK. You can do it. You remember?
Yeah. I just, it was gold money. You know how many people laughed at me about my bet? You know how many people came on there or came onto my page and said, I'll take that bet? And how many people I was like, well, just meet me at the bank. See, that's why I wanted the money in the bank, because I knew it was going to stay in the bank for me. If they bet me, none of them cats take them bets that I took a real bet. They was talking shit because everybody want to get likes and everybody want to say some goofy shit to look funny and all that. But the truth of the matter is, I put the money on the wood a month and a half ago, when my odds were at its best. My mind was never going to change on the fight. It was never going to change. I know who I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? I know Bud a better
and you broke it down good, though, because you were telling me about the size, like, look at his height, look at the arm, and then remember you told me the last thing we discussed was the year off going to help him. I think that helped him acclimate to the 168 instead of rushing in 8 weeks or, a couple months. I think that time off helped him, sir.
Well, what a lot of people don't understand is time off gives your body a chance to get used to being bigger in the first place.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, he had to get used to being a bigger person. So that time being off was allowing his bloodstream, it was allowing his bones, it was allowing his joints, everything about him was starting to get used to walking around at that weight that he was fighting at. So that way you don't have to gain weight for a fight. When you gain weight for a fight, you're sluggish come fight night. Everybody that's moved up will tell you about that. They'll tell you that I had to work out. I had to gain weight in order to get to that weight. The only thing that's worse than that is to drain yourself down to make weight. But it's not that good to work yourself up anymore as it is to drain yourself down. And I just know that Bud walk around at 160. You know what I'm saying? So for him to gain 5 or 6, 7 pounds, he can do that just in workout and weight lift and just doing regular stuff. That's his walk around weight. See what I'm saying? So it was not like he was going up in weight classes the way people thought he was. He was going up in weight classes on paper, but body mass and all that type of stuff, being able to take those punches and stuff like that, bro. Yeah. Like, people don't understand it. They don't understand it the way it needs to be under. If you're in the profession, you know a little bit more about it than most people. And the ones who were talking about he ain't gonna be able to get this, and he ain't gonna be able to get that, and he ain't gonna be able to take this hit and this and that. I put a post out, CK. I don't know if you've seen the post that I put out the day of the fight. And I said to all my Bud fans, I said to all my Terrence Crawford fans, and Bomac know it too, because I sent it to him and he know what it is. I said, I'm going to leave you with one word, and that one word will be the victory to our night. And that word is timing. Timing. I don't have to tell you or say anything else. And what kicked Canelo ass that night was timing. That's why he did him so bad. It was timing. He wasn't stronger than Canelo. He wasn't necessarily faster than Canelo. He wasn't anything more than Canelo ever. I mean, he had just perfect timing. Every time Canelo, listen, that is what frustrates fighters, is when you have when you can time them and take everything away from them, they become frustrated. And that's why Canelo was where he was that night. He was frustrated. I told my nephews and all of them, my personal people in my life, I said, if Canelo don't get a punch off on him, if he don't knock him out by the 4th or the 5th round, Bud is going to take him to deep waters and have him frustrated by the 9th round. And I'd be damn if that's not exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened, brother.
That's it.
And I like the part where you're talking about the ladies. You were so correct about, like you said, take your time, find it. Like, 49. So like you said, I took my time. We having a wonderful time. She's bringing me food. I'm eating good. Now, like you said, this is what you're talking about. You're looking for the queen.
Yes.
And when you had that episode a couple weeks ago, that's what you said. It's like, it don't matter what you accomplish, CK. You ain't no king without no queen. There's nowhere around that, buddy. No debate. It's a straight. Now, it's not even a debate, right? It's just facts.
That's right.
It's just facts. And
stop calling yourself a king.
That's why I respect listening to people like you. I told you I have a registered nurse, and it's all respect. I mean, we lay together, just lay together and talk. Like you said, get past the intimacy. That will come.
Well, let me just say something about that, and I'm glad that the sisters are saying get back to the to women, bro. And I will. Since CK brought it up, let me just say this to my fellas. You know, as long as we perp out to these women, we'll get a perped up ass woman too. As long as we lying to these women, they're gonna lie right back at us. As long as we pretending to be something that we not, we gonna end up with a woman that ain't not what we think she is. All right. So the only way to get
I'm in a crisis right now. I'm gonna have to get back at you.
Okay, go ahead, bro. I'm gonna finish it up. Thanks for engaging with us, CK. The truth of the matter is, bro, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. When you go in perping or you go in acting like you got the long dollars and you can money ain't a thing and this and this and that, those are the type of women that you gravitate to. When you deal with women that you know you come off as being as honest as you possibly can, you'll get an honest woman. Because an honest woman won't want you. She'll be honest with you and say, "Nah, you're not my type. I don't want a man that's, you know." I just think that honesty is where you could take honesty all the way to the finish line. But when a man has to pretend, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. When a man has to pretend or he wants to be more than what he really is, then he's going to end up with a woman expecting that fake ass fried person that he created. And then women, y'all going to turn around and say, well, where did that character go? And instead of seeing the signs right then and there, if he can't provide or do the things that he's presenting himself out there to be, and now 6 months into your relationship, you didn't fell in love with a fraud. How do you think that shit is really going to play out in the end? So ladies, that excuse of he ain't what he used to be and all, he ain't never been that. Y'all just be on some different shit. Y'all just want to be in love or be with somebody so bad, you're willing to lower your standards. You willing to be with somebody that's halfway there. He ain't there all the way, but he trying. You making up more excuses than he giving you. That's just the truth, man. I'll be honest with you. I get tired of women talking about ain't no good men out there. Who are you? What are you for you to say ain't no good men out there? What kind of woman are you selling yourself out there to be? I ain't trying to hear that shit. I'm so sick of that shit because there's plenty of women that got good men. That's why they got a man. They being honest with one another. And there's people in those relationships where the shit, I'll be honest with you. You got two shitty people that's lying to one another and they may just be in a situation. We're not talking about those people. Every conversation we have doesn't match up with everybody in the world. But all I'm telling you is I know some brothers that got some amazing women. I'm just being honest with you. They got some amazing women. And I know some women that got some amazing men. And that's just the nature. That's just how it is. And but it seems to be the ones who tend to go into situations, they forget how the shit started. Everybody that's been in a bad relationship or been with motherfuckers that they just can't stand today, y'all forgot how you just both of y'all motherfuckers forgot how y'all lied to each other at the beginning. Y'all forgot how dishonest you were with one another. And you expect to be the honest people. Y'all supposed to be, you think now all of a sudden y'all the motherfucking Brady Bunch because you got a bunch of kids and y'all ain't been honest with each other since day one. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's why brothers tend to get married older. I mean, that's just my opinion. Like Mallet Head, I ain't trying to put him out there like that, but dude older than me. And I'm just saying, like now he's probably his marriage will probably last to the end of their life because he's had time to be all he can be. She's had all the time to deal with all these fake people, fraud people, and she probably loved him all to death. And they know what they have, and they know they can be totally honest with one another. I don't know. I just think that people who talk that shit, man, they just get to talking and they just want to, blame somebody else for their own trips and mistakes. That's just my opinion. It's probably wrong to a lot of people. But the truth is, when a man walk into a club or when he walk into a bar and he flossing, oh, you gonna get the women that want the money bag flossing ass dudes. Feel what I'm saying? So how you gonna all of a sudden turn around and start hollering about how she ain't shit, all she want is money, but you represent yourself as a bag? What's that? Alethea says older men want to marry younger women. It ain't for the reasons why you think. Because I'm gonna tell you a secret, sis. I'm gonna tell you a secret. I don't know about all men. I don't know about all men, but I'll speak for some of us. I would think that one of the hardest things to deal with as a man is to be 50 and to have a woman that's 30 years old and you about to call her your wife. I'm not going to speak nasty or ugly about people who want to marry and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. There are insecurities that both men and women have. And one of the insecurities that a man will always have, especially with a younger woman, is he will always think, am I performing at a high enough level where I can keep her? Because a lot of men judge their relationships and how they deal with women based on sexual experience. Sex they lead by men tend to lead with sex when in fact men and women love different. I don't think a 50-year-old man that's with a 30-year-old woman will ever say in real life. I don't think he would ever mean this if he said it. He would just say it just to be saying some shit that sounds slick. But I don't think a 50-year-old man would ever say, my 30-year-old wife loved me to death. I have her mentally wrapped around my finger. I don't think he'll ever say that. He might say it, but he don't really mean it. I think a 50-year-old man with a 30-year-old woman, his biggest fear is that some 28-year-old dude gonna come by and he gonna take her. I've seen it a lot. I've seen some of my older friends that end up with, and I can only speak from experience. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I'm open. It's open for debate. I can only speak my experiences. Most of my guys that I know that are older and they end up with these young girls, I don't ever see them really marry them, but the same way they get them is the same way they lose them. All right, now I can just be honest and tell you that none of them are really afraid that she's just gonna like. They're all the insecurity is more like, hey, I got to buy her to keep her, or I got to be hitting it so good that she ain't going nowhere. But his biggest fear, a 50-plus-year-old man with a 30-year-old girl, his biggest fear is somebody taking her, a younger man taking her. That's his biggest fear. I don't know any 50-plus-year-old man. I don't care how much money he has. That it's not even about the money. Let me read a couple comments before I go to the next call, if you guys don't mind. Because I don't know where I'm at. LaDonna says, because they someone to walk their broke down ass around. Oh my God. What y'all talking about? These are sidebar conversations, probably. Yeah, y'all talking amongst each other. Let's see here. Regina says he probably should think that excuse me, I'm sorry, it moved on me. Regina said he probably should think that she's 30. I agree. That's another reason, Regina, why his old ass ain't got no business with a 30-year-old woman. You see what I'm saying? Because eventually, what's the football coach name? Bill, I don't know his name. He coached the Patriots for all those years. He's like 74 with like a 25-year-old girlfriend. And there's dudes in the locker room that's making 10 times more than him. And her little ass be running around in the field thinking that she's somebody boss, and she at the field and she at practice, and and you got them studs, them dudes that's in the motherfucking locker room making 10 times what he making. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you a secret. He's got to be tired of her by now. He's got to be tired of her. And what I mean by that is, thank you, Ed. He said Belichick, Coach Bill Belichick. He got to be tired of her. There's no way in the world you would put your 25-year-old ass girlfriend in the line of fire of all those dudes. And you got guys out there making $5 million, $10 million, $7 million, $12 million, and $40 million a year. And Mr. 74-year-old, you really think you about to hold on to a 25-year-old girl when you put all that shit in front of her? They're youthful, they're richer. I mean, come on now. He's tired of her because her ass supposed to be somewhere at the beach or at home or something. But what he can't stop from happening is what's going to happen. It's gonna happen, and y'all gonna see. I hate to say it, y'all know how I'm gonna rub the crystal ball a little bit. When he passes on, she's gonna be good to go financially because that's probably the play. I'm just being honest, but she's gonna end up with one of his former players or a guy that used to be out on the field somewhere. Y'all see, it might take another 10, maybe 15, 20 years if you're around, if you even care. She gonna end up one of them dudes that has some affiliation with Bill Belichick all these years. When her next situation come around, it's gonna be somebody that was close to Bill Belichick. Look at how that shit happens, bro. Even Kobe Bryant's wife did that. Even Derek Fisher and them, all them guys, bro. Like, look at Babyface and his wife. I know Sabrina Calloway. Queen, happy birthday once again. I know she gonna kill me because them her friends. But Babyface, they look at them. What all these guys, they wives end up with each other. You know what I'm saying? Babyface lost his wife to, I think, Eddie Murphy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Eddie Murphy lost his girl, his woman, his wife to, you know, all that. They all just kind of, you know, I don't know. Not to say that they difference in ages, but them circles, you know, them circles. But yeah, let me go to the phone line, man. Let me see what this is all about over here. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is Edsel. How are you doing?
Hey, Edsel, how you doing today, brother? What's on your mind? Long time no talk to.
It has been. I'm just kind of chilly most. Kind of tuned in. And first things first, when you talk about, I've told you about, relationship stuff, couple stuff, that stuff is totally jumped the shark at this point, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's natural selection. It's simply natural selection. If you're not when they start talking about couples or the relationships, I always consider the source of the person giving an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And the opinions that are dominating the conversation today are you and Alethea, two people who've been happily married over 20 years. My question would be, why the hell do you two care?
Well,
about why people are single.
Well, I got friends that are married or that are single.
You've got 50-year-old friends that are not married and worried, blah, blah, blah. Chances are your audience, we're all, I think Twin's the youngest that I know of. He's 45 years old. Everybody else is well over that, approaching 50 and more. And you're not married because you missed your mate. You missed them, male or female. You missed them when you're that old. Well, you missed them. You missed them.
First, let me say this, though, Edsel, if you don't mind, then I promise you can finish any point you want to make. Let me just say why I care. I care because it's a big part of why people go through what they go through even to this day. And that's why I posed the question. I asked all the men to remove themselves when I posed the question, but now I'm going to pose that same question to you and get your opinion. You mind? Can I do that?
Hold on. My son was talking to me. It was the last part. What did you say?
I'm going to pose this question to you, and I want you to answer it for me.
Pose it. Go ahead.
Okay. Who do you think is more miserable? A woman that's married and she's in a miserable relationship, or a single woman who's miserable, but she's not in a relationship? She's miserable because she's looking for someone. She can't find anyone. Who do you think is a more miserable?
How old is she?
I don't know. We didn't put a
that's significant. How old is she? Is she 40? She's the one that's if the woman is 40, that woman or older, she's probably more miserable, who can't find anyone. She doesn't want to die alone. I'm sorry. That Kevin Samuels clip where he told that woman, "You will die alone." That's why he blew up, because that little 5-second sound bite struck a nerve and rung bells through many people throughout the country. Okay. You realize, I'm this old, ain't got no marriage, ain't married, ain't got nobody who I trust, no prospects.
So you're saying I
don't want to die alone.
So you're saying, if I'm hearing you correct, you're saying that if the woman is 40 plus years old, that it's probably, is that the single woman that's going to be more miserable than the woman that's 40 and married? And then if they're miserable at a younger age, you think it's the married kid that's would be more miserable than
because her friends, she's looking at her friends, they're going out having fun, clubbing and blah blah blah, and and she's got to settle in the
that's a valid point
of 350 on the stove and 90 outside.
No, that's a valid point, the beginning of it. The second part of it, I'm not quite sure what you meant by that, but I'll figure that one out later. But that's a good point. If they're older, you feel like the woman that's the single woman would be more of the one that's the more miserable person. And if it's the younger girl married, that in that situation, you would say that she's probably more miserable.
Right. Listen, you're delving way too deep into this. Just look at your audience. All those miserable ass hags calling you. Why is facing this, facing that? You know, I don't know how to debate it because it's too fucking true.
Well,
Those were all 50-year-plus-year-old women. There weren't no 25-year-old women arguing.
Well, once again, we probably don't have a whole lot of 25-year-old women that watch this platform either. So, I mean, I guess I guess that could be true what you're saying, but it's not fair. If we don't have 25-year-old people here who could feel that way, then it's not fair to say it was because those ladies are older that's why they were, they felt targeted. That's not fair to say. But
yeah, you did. Yeah, that is very fair to say because you called me saying you're saying old this and old that.
Say what?
You called me talking about they saying that you said this about being old, blah, blah, blah. This, that. I mean, you called me saying some wild shit that morning. I'm like,
I don't remember that.
Looking at the phone, like, man, this nigga done lost his damn mind.
I don't remember that. Listen, I'm not saying that I didn't. That don't even sound like some shit that I would say. However, if I did, you might have misunderstood where I was coming from or whatever. All I was saying was, just calm down how you say things about women.
I'm not calming down. But that's the thing.
You got to understand there's a way to
you do not as a woman, you are not being godly trying to correct men. You don't say nothing to that white man that you praise to. Don't say nothing to me.
But what I'm saying to you is, brother, if you have a powerful message that needs to be addressed or needs to be relayed to people, the way you deliver that message is very important on how people
or the appearance of the message. All I got to do is put on some damn funny looking glasses, some intellectual glasses. Now I'm Kevin, what's his name? Kevin Samuels and the new nigga. What's his name? With the glasses that you like, Jaden White, Jaden Daniels.
Never heard of him, bro.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know
the new
Samuel.
dude with the bald head dude with the glasses. You had him in your group before.
Really? He was part of what? Wyatt Live Messenger group?
Yeah, I've seen his videos and I cannot think of his name. He the dude everybody like now.
Oh, you're talking about Antoine from Detroit?
Yeah, that's his name, Anton.
Okay,
Anton,
that's my guy. But what do you mean? What did he say?
Nothing that Fame hadn't said. He just put on glasses.
No, that's not true. He's a very intelligent person. I guess that's my point there, Fame. My point is his delivery is a little bit different than yours. So maybe you do. Wait a minute, hold on, because you've said that's not true, bro. You've done that with you and I. You've done that with you and I. You've said, Wyatt, you say the same things that I say, but it seems like since they your family and all. But what I've never done, I've never called women on here hags. So if I'm saying the same thing that you're saying, but my message is different than yours, I mean, it could be the same message, but delivered totally different. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't deliver my messages like you.
Kevin Samuels, the brother we talking about, the bald head dude.
Okay.
Tommy Sotomayor, they all use very colorful language.
Okay.
That's all. But listen, but let's just move on. As my favorite and the best caller all likes to say.
Okay.
Let's move on because I want to talk about what you were talking about. You're woefully wrong about Bill Belichick. First of all, those guys do not make any more money than him.
Sure,
that dude's made $100 million in coaching. You forget he coached for the Patriots for 10, 15 years.
I don't think a woman cares if you worth $100 million or if you worth $50 million.
Women know if you got a bag or not.
I know. I really don't think. No, what I'm saying to you, bro, is this is my opinion. I'm not a woman. I can't really say, but I see how women get snatched up by guys that make less money, but yet they still millionaires. I don't think a woman cares if a man is a billionaire versus a millionaire. I think as long as she feels comfortable, that's what counts. And ladies, don't.
Smart women do. Well, smart women realize the difference between a million and a billy.
Well, probably so, but I think
this woman has searched him. She searched him, researched him. Her parents have told her, like, don't blow this bag. Well, if you have to, get knocked up by him.
You saying that Bill Belichick's girlfriend?
I guarantee you that girl's parents told her, if you have to, if you can, get knocked up by him. Don't just lean on him for publicity for your little poor businesses. Throw that away. For your little businesses and little modeling, whatever you're doing. That's a bag you're sitting on. $100 million.
I hear you. But do you think a woman
suck a golf ball through him if you have to?
Okay, let me ask you this. The lady is with a 74-year-old man that's worth how much? 100 and something million?
At least 100 million.
Okay, let's just round it out.
For forever.
Let's round it out 100 million just to be fair, just for the argument. He's worth $100 million, and you know, they're not married or anything. Maybe he set something up for her, so if he was to have a heart attack next week, she would be taken care of. I don't know if a woman would really care if they ran into a Joe Burrow, or not Joe Burrow, because let's take it down a notch and say that it's someone like I don't know the name, but say it's somebody that's worth $40 million in the NFL, who's a much younger, vibrant, and I mean, he may not be 100 million rich, but he's 40 million rich. Yeah, I think that a young lady would probably want to be more on the happy side and be a 40 millionaire, a $40 million person versus a $100 million person and not really have anything secured. There's nothing secured when she's not married to him.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're talking about college kids. He's coaching a college team now. I mean, there's NIL money, but hey, come here. There's NIL money. The guys are getting paid, but they ain't got it like, trust me, they ain't got it nowhere near like he got it.
No, I see what you're saying, because my argument was Bill Belichick, the NFL coach. And those guys in the college level they're not making NFL money, even though there's a few that got the NIL, but not on North Carolina. I don't know one North Carolina, unless you can tell me, I don't know one North Carolina football player that's making $5 million in the NIL. Okay, I can't think of one. But my argument was coming
tripping on his players.
But hold on,
they're not a threat.
They've been together since he was an NFL coach. So I was thinking that if he's allowing her to be in the NFL locker rooms, if he's allowing her to be out here amongst the NFL, family, those young dudes, you of all people should know, because you follow sports. Look at how all those wives and ex-wives of NBA players end up with different players. You never seen it coming, because they're amongst each other. It's like Eddie Murphy and his wife being around that same Hollywood niche. They go from one millionaire to another millionaire. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm thinking a 24-year-old girl, 25 now, who's running around NFL locker rooms with NFL players. She's just receptive to get with a dude that's making $10 or $20 million a year versus being with a dude that's 75 years old making $100 million or worth $100 million. I think she's probably okay being in a $20 or $30 million household.
But here's the thing that you're not considering.
Okay.
Bill Belichick don't give a rip. He's that N-word.
Well,
and been him. He ain't worried about nobody. It's called confidence.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
24-year-old hussy from me, I'll get another one.
See, I think people misconstrue what having money is about. I know a lot of people with a few dollars and they're really insecure. Money don't make you confident.
But being an NFL coach with 6 titles, it does.
Those are accomplishments, bro. That's nothing about
right. You accomplished the best. You're the best in your sport. What are you talking about? You're disrespecting what it takes to become an NFL coach. You got 53 players, all those moving parts of a team, and for 5 times out of 15 years, 17 years, whatever it was, his was the best.
Ladies, you know what? Ladies are sitting back listening. Ladies are sitting back here listening to two men talk about men
why this man is that much more confident.
And I'm telling you right now that there's a lot of women that just dealt with dudes that had a bunch of money, and these guys were some of the most insecure dudes, and that's probably why they're not even with them dudes.
And Bill Belichick ain't one of them.
Well, you don't know.
It's the same man who coached This is the same man who coached Tom Brady and Lawrence Taylor, the best offensive player.
What?
The best
Those are
defensive player.
accomplishments. That has nothing to do with his personality.
You're too confident. You're too confident to be insecure. What are you talking about?
No, that's not true, bro.
That is true. You can be too confident.
Ladies,
too correct. To be insecure.
Correct. Let us know how you.
I don't give a damn what these ladies think. I'm telling you as a man, you can be too accomplished. You can be too accomplished to be insecure.
Those are different. Listen, if he walked,
okay,
what I'm saying to you, Fame, you're right. But let me explain to you where I'm coming from in my perspective. You're right. You can be so accomplished that you're confident in what you do, right? If you're a football coach and you have all these accomplishments, okay? You're probably secure about those things that you are accomplished in and that nobody can do it better than you. But it has nothing to do with how you are personally in your personal life, bro, about how people perceive what you fall in love with, if it'll do you wrong, how you'll be done emotionally.
No, that's how you marry. That's how you marry big bitches with 2-3 kids.
See, that's what I'm saying. What? That sounds crazy.
Because you're insecure. You go bounce with somebody who you feel you are better than. But listen,
I don't know.
We can argue about that all day.
I'd rather hear from a lady. I would rather hear from a lady. Hold on, Fane. Let me say this so you can get your last part in. I would personally rather hear from a lady that'll tell me how.
Well, why? What men like?
No.
Why?
No. Because there are experiences with men. I've never dated somebody that had so much money that they were so secure just because they had money. I've been in situations in life where people were good at what they do on their job and they were confident in their job and they had enough.
Let's just put it like this. Money is the great equalizer because women never outkick their coverage. Men always outkick their coverage when it comes to dating.
You can't say that in 2025.
You'll always see an ugly dude with a bad chick. You'll never see a bad chick with an ugly dude.
That's crazy as hell.
But let me say this. Well, I mean, you can shoot,
No, because you got a lot of women out here. Well, no, the reason why I say that, hold on, the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of women today that's making a lot more money as a single individual, like in a single.
And they ain't got ugly dudes.
That's not true, bro. Because women, listen, bro. I'm just gonna be honest with you. My opinion is, I think men and women love different. I think that we generally, like, men definitely want to go get this. That's, we want that young this and this.
I don't know what women think. I'm not a woman, and I just grew up.
But you're sitting here talking about what women want. How you gonna now all of a sudden make a U-turn and start talking about?
I didn't say what women want. I said they don't outkick their coverage.
But they do.
But let me say this. Okay, it's whatever. Let me just say this.
Go ahead, bro.
Your man Boyd, your man Bud, just like I said on a post on Facebook, dude is great. One of the best boxers ever, but he'll never be a superstar.
I seen your post. Why would you say that? I'm just curious.
One, like I said, he lost the birth certificate lottery. Boxing is waning in popularity. You got celebrity boxing going on now. It's MMA shit. Boxing is kind of waning. It's not what it was in the 80s. He lost the birth certificate lottery.
Okay.
1A, really, he was never an Olympian.
Okay.
You'll never forget. You'll never not love an Olympic fighter.
Bro, I don't know how much you think about that. Olympic fighters don't get as much respect as you think they do.
Okay, tell me who's going to be more lasting, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roy Jones, or Bud Crawford?
Bud Crawford.
How?
Because
who's going to be the guy that they talk about years from now? We still talk. There's people who never talk about Sugar Ray Leonard, who never saw Sugar Ray Leonard box. But it'll tell you he's a top 3 boxer.
Well, it might have something to do with it may have something to do with that flamboyant ass name, Sugar Ray. It just sounds good.
But he's the second Sugar Ray. Well, he's the second one.
But okay, and you know that one, and I've never really seen him fight live either. But I know about him because of his name. I don't know his record off the top of my head. But Sugar Ray Leonard is a great catchy name. But here's the reason why Bud is beyond.
And Sugar Ray was a handsome man.
Yeah,
let's keep it a buck. Pause, no homo, none of all that shit.
No, he's a handsome guy. He's a handsome guy. Yes,
Bud ain't.
That has nothing. I don't know too
many other. Everything to do with it. Bud ugly than a motherfucker.
That's okay.
And he's got the personality of muddy pond water.
But that's not what he gives. That's not his accomplishments. He's not paid to be a GQ model.
Didn't I just tell you why he won't be a superstar?
Yeah, and I think those things that you just named are
He's the
crazy.
Tim Duncan of boxing. He's the Tim Duncan of boxing.
I wouldn't go that far and say that.
Everybody who loves the sport knows how good he really was.
Well, let me just say the reason why he'll be known. Personality. Let me just,
Mike Tyson has a personality, and he was ugly, but he was a New Yorker.
No, he was knocking motherfuckers out,
he was a student of the game.
No, he was the youngest
people out.
No, he was the youngest heavyweight champion of the world. See, your accolades in boxing is
he
what
knocks
makes
people out.
Bro, are you gonna listen?
Entertaining to watch.
Are you gonna listen for a second? Do you want to learn something about the sport of boxing?
Yes, but I'm in Walmart. I gotta get off of here.
Okay.
So I'm trying to, get away from customers.
All right. All right. No, I appreciate you calling and engaging.
Because I know what you're about to do. Try to spin everything that I said.
No, I'm not. I'm about to address. If you want to stay on the phone, feel free to do so. You can just listen.
No, I really can't. I really got.
All right, hey, Fame, I appreciate you.
I'm at the pharmacy.
Okay.
I will call you tomorrow. We'll finish this.
All right, bro.
I'm telling you.
Oh shit! He said I'm gonna tell, and I hung. I didn't mean to hang up. There you go. Fame, you there? My bad. I didn't mean to hang up. You there? Hello? Okay. It must have flipped up. Let me just say this. I'm not going to say his opinion is his opinion, okay? Here's the thing. In boxing, I believe that your accolades is what make you important to the sport. Bud has just done something that no other fighter has ever done, and he's moved up to be undisputed in 3 weight classes of boxing. No one's ever done that. You don't have to be Sugar Ray Leonard, nor do you have to be this flamboyant person who's a great interview person. Mike Tyson was never that. Mike Tyson was never a great interview. Mike Tyson was a guy that went to jail for rape. Mike Tyson was the epitome of the streets. So how did he make it so famous? I mean, he never said anything. People did all the talking for him. Bud is just doing something that nobody has ever done in boxing before. He don't have to say a whole lot. He don't have to be GQ gorgeous. He don't have to be that. I understand how it is to be a I don't know, these pretty boys in boxing and be able to kick ass. All that do is what? Get you a female base. Most men that follow boxing don't give a shit what you look like. It don't matter. Most women don't line up and go to fights 10 deep because pretty boy fighting tonight. Don't matter. Most women that go to fights go with a man. And I mean, generally, I'm saying like in a date. Every once in a while, you get some young ladies that'll go in a group because that might be their favorite fighter. But most women sitting in the audience are either there because they're in the sport of boxing, some capacity, whether they're, like my girl Tiffany Daniels, she's on the team, on a boxing team. She's a judge in amateur boxing. So I could see someone like that going with her family and not maybe on a date. Most women that are sitting ringside or on the floor of these boxing matches, the high price tickets, are there on a date or they're in the sport. People don't care nothing. You know what? Those days of Sugar Ray Leonard being pretty and all that old shit, them days gone. Floyd and all them guys, none of them was pretty. And he was called Pretty Boy Floyd. He wasn't pretty. Everybody came out to watch him. Nobody was lined up. He was an Olympian. Floyd is not known as being an Olympic fighter because he lost the gold. Roy Jones Jr. is not considered to be an Olympian fighter. He lost the gold. Come on, bro. Come on. I don't like the attack on Bud, not because we're cool. I just say to you that if you know the sport of boxing, then you understand that Bud Crawford just accomplished something that'll put him on on the boxing Mount Rushmore, and he's accomplished something that no other fighter has ever been able to do. And he broke a lot of hearts the other night, and he made me a little bit more richer. That's all I can say about that. All that other shit, bro, I don't know. Let me go to the phone lines, man. I told you it's a short show today. Let's get as much in as we possibly can. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, fam?
Hey, what's up, twin? What's good with you? How them Bears doing?
What you say?
How them Bears doing, bro?
I don't like you. You're a Trumpster. No, it's gonna play.
You do know we winning shit with backup quarterbacks over here.
Man,
what y'all doing, bro?
Hey, I kid you not. Why? I'll be glad when they switch quarterbacks, man.
Oh no. You gotta
Jimmy
like
Flick and bull crapping he doing, man.
Come on, man.
Man, I seen that game, man. I'm like, come on, dude. Come on, dog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know he can adjust to his offensive play caller. You know how Phil ran that what's they call it? What was that Michael number? The triangle offense.
Yeah, but you know we're talking football right now, right? You talking NBA. They ran the triangle with the Chicago Bulls.
They got y'all off that triangle.
They got y'all that effed up over in Chicago that y'all don't know if the Bulls playing or the Bears.
I thought that was our year, man. I mean, we got
Go
the
ahead,
coach,
man.
we got people in the play, and I don't know why. I don't know, man. Okay. I see why them people want to go move to Arlington Heights, man. Maybe we can come up or something, man. It's ridiculous, man. I bet it on him and all. I say this got to be a man. Come on, man.
Any man that'll come out and say that this team is gonna go 15-2, and I know what y'all working with.
I got 15 more to go, player.
Yeah, I know.
I got faith in I don't care, man. You a hater. Don't worry, we got y'all in November, though.
You know what? I'm tired of people calling people that call out truth haters. No, I guarantee you. You're not gonna go 15-2. I'm willing to put
confidence in myself and my Bears and stuff. I ain't gonna go off what you saying.
Well, twin,
you like your candle on that. He ain't let me like mine on this.
Twin, okay. Let's just be honest and say this, bro.
I'm not gonna be honest or agree with none of you say, man.
Okay, I don't blame you. I would be mad too. I don't blame you. You're right. Moving on. What you got on your plate? What's going on?
Hey, man, I had to say, man, it was man, football was man, if you bet it, man, that ticket was crazy, man. If somebody betted on that any football games this week.
Well, I don't know because I don't bet football. I really don't know.
I'm just saying if you would have bet, but Fame, man. I don't know, man. Man, you talking about hating? That man was hating, man.
Hating on what? Who?
On Terrence Crawford, man.
For sure.
That man, this real talk right here. I was playing about you, but that man hating wasn't in addiction. That's hating right there, man. That man ain't no superstar, but he flood the arenas every time. He's a superstar. Hey. Regardless, he ugly, pretty, whatever. That man broke records now, man.
I know one
thing. He broke records. I don't care if you're Olympic or not Olympic. The man broke records, man. Hey, what get me why? Then they took the cake when he came out, though. I say, hold on. They playing the Mexican music. I'm thinking Canelo about to come out. Here come Bud, man.
No, he pulled that play like Floyd. Floyd used to wear the Mexican colors, and he would play the Mexican music walking out. And he would always, here's the thing. Regardless of what Fame was talking about on there, he was off point. But I will say this. Terrence Crawford has been an underdog since he's been in the game of boxing. He's from Nebraska, okay? That's not the biggest, people don't brag about shit in Nebraska other than football and now Bud Crawford, okay? But here's my thing. Bud walked into an arena last night or the other night, Saturday night. He walked in that arena with 20,000 people against him. And the little 1,500 over in the corner over there spread out, that 1,500 was for Bud, those 1,500 people. But by the time the night was over, this young man is so respectful and honorable and such a good individual. He don't talk a lot of shit. He only return the serve. If you say something nasty to him, he'll say something like, well, okay.
Man, he backed that 100,
yeah,
man.
He's such a good person that he left 20,000 people upset, but he gained 20,000 fans. Just
exactly
because
I think he set a record anyway.
Sure, he set a record.
Most attendance at an arena.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. Here's the difference in the fight fan. Mexicans and other fight fans, and this is sad because it shouldn't be this way. And I can guarantee you that a lot of fighters, black fighters, will tell you this. Our fan base is not very loyal. And what I mean by that is they're loyal up until the point that adversity hits or they take a loss. In other sports, combat sports, you got guys that will fight and have 5 losses, 20 wins, 5 losses, and they still have a fan base that's strong and people don't give up on them, don't talk shit about them. But for some odd reason, the hardest fan, the fans that are hardest on their people the most are black fans towards black fighters. And I'm not just saying this just to say it. Black fighters will tell you that. It's very hard for brothers to be in that profession because when they lose one time, people spit them out. They just don't care about them anymore. They act like they don't.
When they did David Haney like that, they booed him.
Well, that's a little bit of a different situation because of how he lost and what happened after the loss and this and that. But we still should have stuck with that little brother. You see what I'm saying?
Because Canelo was 62-5 or 3 now.
Yeah, but he brought out. Okay, that's my point.
And they still ride with him.
Yeah, that's
but us, point. Like you just say, right. And dude said this last week how we downplay us when they up, they with you when you up, but when you lose, it's over with.
Right. And here's the thing. Yeah. Imagine, okay, a lot of people gonna probably say because look, there's nobody on the planet that I wouldn't fight for $10 million. You can line them up. I fight all night. You can put a new fight. I can go 12 rounds and you can put a new fighter in each round. And at the end of the night, I make $12 million. I'm going as hard as I can all 12 rounds if I make it 12 for $10 million. But now let me just put this in proper perspective. Terrence Crawford made $10 million the other night. However, Canelo made $150 million. Make that make sense.
Hold on. He made 10, he made 150?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I thought they were saying he would make 50 million.
No. Now he'll make some back-end money, but the problem is back-end money generally comes from pay-per-views and merchandise. And
why is the Saudis taking over boxing as promoters or something?
Yeah.
I've been seeing them Saudis for a minute, man.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be taken over because black folks really supposed to have that industry, but we had one black man. And unfortunately, people don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. It's like what happens a lot. We get one black man in power to be able to run everything, and he selfishly abuses it. And now everybody else gets to pick up the pieces and get what they can out of it. You use black folks to monopolize it, and then when you get tired of it, you break it up so nobody else can get it, and then somebody else of a different that look different, they end up capitalizing on all those broken pieces.
Yeah,
I mean, I hope some of y'all know what I'm talking about.
Floyd got a brother that fight.
Who?
Floyd.
He got a brother?
Yeah, Julius Mayweather. He got a brother that fight. He ain't made his day till he was like 19. So Julius got to be in his 30s.
Okay.
And I thought you probably know about it. Whatever.
Well, I know that Floyd had somebody in his, I think it was a stepbrother that his dad had or something like that used to fight, but I don't think that he was really that type of guy to even bring up about boxing, to be honest with you.
You know, I'm just saying if you knew about him or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard about the guy. I didn't even know he was still fighting. That's been a long time ago. But what happens is you get people in the industry that really supposed to be pushing it in the direction for us to take over. And it's almost like the Bob Johnson situation where he built, and you can't get mad because they did something that no one else would do. They built they built BET, and you can't get mad at what he do with what he built.
He sold it, and then he went to the Charlotte Bobcats, sold it to Jordan.
Well, the problem is you get too many people that use that black shit when we get to talking, and they talk that shit to get your emotions stirred up and get your guard down, and then they do everything for themselves to benefit themselves, and then they leave us hanging, and they leave what they've built off of our backs dangling, and it's sitting there vulnerable for the other people to come get it, and we ain't got nobody to blame but ourselves.
Right. Wyatt, in that ring, what's the real ring or whatever, ring of honors or something he got. So that's with the people that's different weight classes or something like that. That earned that belt.
Yeah, you're talking about that's like the Hall of Fame. That's what it's like a Hall of Fame type of thing. Okay?
I'm saying, is that like different weight classes or something?
Yeah, it's a group of bunch of different people. I mean, in all different weight classes. That
Tyson wasn't part of that, right?
Sure. Mike Tyson made history in boxing. He was the youngest heavyweight ever.
I didn't know. I just saw him with the belt, and I know I saw Sugar Ray Leonard and other people on there.
Yeah, these guys are historians. Okay, they made history in boxing, so they'll always be known. And Bud just did it. So when Fame come on here and say he's not going to be popular, his name will never come up with all the greats. That's ridiculous. You just don't. That just sounds foolish, especially after him kicking the shit out of Canelo the other night. That just sounds crazy.
Man, that boy, man, well, watch him, man. That man come in there like on 10. I like he be focused on his man and everything. From him knocking out Spence and now Canelo, because he wanted to really get down with Canelo. Canelo, he won't fight like he usually fight.
He couldn't.
I don't know if he was scared of Bud or he just couldn't throw them jabs, but he tried so hard. Bud stung that man. He shook him. And he got Bud like the 7th and 11th round. Bud like, hold on now, I got to bounce back. And stuff, and the Bud was laughing a couple of times, and I was like, man, he about to get dude, man, it's over. And I ain't want that short fight, man. I want them to go to distance. And I really wanted the Bud work him, man.
They did.
For talking smack and, his underdog, put a muzzle on their face. I really want them to work his ass, but.
Twin, I got to ask you a question. I got to ask you the question that people are going to want me to ask you.
What?
Did you watch that fight?
Yeah, I watched it, but
then what are you talking about? He did work him. He did beat the shit out of him, and
I want him to get out like his other fights, man.
What are you talking about? And then it went to distance.
I mean, it went to distance and all that, but I want to see him work him, man. He did spit.
Bro,
he ain't doing like he used. Man, if you go back and watch his previous fight, you would know, man.
Name a fighter that's done Canelo that bad, other than Floyd. And he's had losses. Canelo's lost from fights. He ain't never lost like that.
Canelo be working people too.
Bro.
Just like Bud
Canelo
do. Just go back to his last fight, man. Canelo fight. Canelo was knocking people out.
I know. The reason why
I understand what you saying. He couldn't get in. Excuse me. He couldn't get in there like he wanted to. Just like Bud. He wanted to work, but he couldn't get in there, man. I was watching him fight.
Well, then
what are you talking about?
Because of what you said, I wanted him to really get in there and work him out, and I wanted him I wanted it to go all the way. I wanted it to go all the way, and I wanted it to be like the other fights. And I'm like, damn, bro, like Bud could not have put on a better performance than he did. I promise you. If he would have knocked Canelo out, it's not the same victory, because a knockout is vicious to the eye, okay? But it's not the same victory as somebody that goes 12 rounds and barely loses a round. That is an impressive win. A knockout happens because somebody got caught slipping. Okay. At that level, when you're top tier fighters, when you're A+ fighters, you don't see knockouts that often. But to see somebody get kicked in the ass like that, twin, this man, Bud could have done.
Your boy was gonna get knocked out, but he went to his knee.
I tell you what.
Talking about it was grease monkey popping up.
I tell you what. If, and I hate using the word if
he come out again,
if they do a rematch,
it's not gonna be one.
I know it's not. Canelo don't want that anymore. But now,
I think he gonna retire though.
No, Canelo gonna fight. He gonna keep.
I'm talking about Bud.
Well, I mean, he'll fight. Yeah, of course he's going to fight. I mean, he's still a young guy. He's going to fight. I mean, it's not anybody out there that we would be like, oh, I can't wait to see that one.
Who out there, though?
Let me just say this about my if, okay? And then I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
If Canelo comes back out for a rematch, Bud will stop him. Okay? I don't know. Some of y'all don't know what that means, because stopping means he'll either get a knockout or a technical knockout, which means he'll put him to sleep, or the ref will step in and stop the fight.
I ain't no decision. No.
No. It won't go to distance.
But
Bud showed he was definitely a superior fighter. He had more skills. He's exactly what I told everybody he was and what he was going to do. I'm not going to sit here and say I told y'all so, but damn it, I told y'all so. And I explained to y'all on this show how Bud was going to do it. And it played out exactly the way I told you.
Yeah, he did his thing. I can't say that, man. I can't say that. I was watching, you talking about the miserable ladies, right? Single and married women.
Yes, I can't wait to hear your opinion on that. Let me have it.
My opinion, my comment on this. I think it's a single lady. They miserable minded. They stay in people's business, and that's how it is. A married woman, I feel, work it out, and if she would have never said I do, she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't have jumped into there and say for better or worse, rich or for health, whatever.
Okay.
Or rich, and I believe, single women are miserable. They toxic.
So you think that the single woman is more miserable than the married woman?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, to my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because she got to worry about where he at and all this, and he gonna leave his wife and all that, and who I can do and break up a happy home and all that crazy.
Okay.
The married woman go stay in her place. Sometimes she go feel like, oh, we getting divorced and all that. She just mad right now. You just go in that room and stuff. I'll be back home, make love to you. We go figure this out. But that single woman, she don't know what to do because she got to worry about she go get the bills paid or who coming over next or who go take her out this weekend.
It sounds like you got them mixed up a little bit.
No, it ain't.
Yeah,
no,
because
it ain't.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. Hear me out. I think you have them mixed up based on what the people were saying. The ladies out here were saying a little bit different. Some people were like the woman. See, the way the woman you just described sounds like somebody that's dependable, that's dependent on the man.
It's picking aside which one you rather be, who is more miserable, right? Single woman, married woman, right?
Yeah,
and I gave you my comment opinion about it.
Not that, brother. I'm not. Look, I get it. What I'm saying is when you were doing your explanation of which woman you think is more miserable, the way you described the miserable woman, it sounded like you were describing the woman that was trapped into something, not trapped into being single, but trapped into being married. So that's why I said I think it's kind of back. Like I think the way you were describing it was a little bit backwards from what the people in the chat was talking about.
It's like me asking if I want to be with a single woman, I want to find my queen. That's what it's like asking me. And I say I'd rather be with a single woman type. How do you want it, Wyatt? How you go flip it like a prosecutor for, man?
Wait a minute. I would hope you would want to be with the single woman. I would hope that.
Man, I'd rather go for to get married and to live that single life. I'm tired of this single. If you go on Facebook, okay. I'm tired of this single life. It sucks. Well, what you gonna do then? If you go down the timeline, I'm pretty sure anybody in this chat or on Facebook see I hate this single life. What you gonna do? You go find you a man to get married, whatever.
Right.
You keep on hating your single life.
I think
go find somebody to marry you.
Right. I think
because you keep on saying these niggas ain't shit. Well, you mess with ain't shit ass niggas then. That's all. You picking them out for yourself. Because I'm pretty sure there's some good niggas out here.
I'm sure there's some good ninjas out here.
Cause they all niggas ain't shit. Well, maybe you in the building ain't nothing ass nigga.
I don't know, bro. All I can say is
that's what you hear about, man.
Most women don't want a ninja. Most women don't want a ninja. You know the word. They don't want that. I mean, it's
that's
fun.
What they say.
It's
These
fun
niggas
for a
ain't
little
shit.
while.
The first thing they say.
It's fun for a little while. All right. But I think what happens, a lot. Ooh, they're gonna be mad at me for this one, twin.
What happens now, man?
I think women understood if they could roll it back, this world would be totally different. I think men kind of would too, but we so selfish and we so into our needs and our wants that I honestly think that if we could roll back 30 years of life and start over in relationships,
shit, I'd do
it. You might do it, but there's some women that would definitely, most women would definitely do it. And you know who they would stay away from? Niggas. That's what they stay away from. I'm not saying they wouldn't be with a brother, but they sure in the hell ain't gonna be with no nigga because niggas didn't fuck their life all the way up. You see what I'm saying? That, and y'all ladies have to, y'all might not agree with me, but I think some of y'all know what I'm talking about. It's of the world that effed up somebody's life by not being honest, like I was talking about at the beginning. I think a lot
accountability. I'm part of that.
Well, there's some men that would definitely go back.
No, I was part of messing up somebody's life.
Yeah, we know.
We
know.
Don't know. I'm telling you now, man.
What? He said it. Okay, I didn't know that. You shocked me with that statement.
No, I'm taking accountability. I'm manning up. I was part of that.
We know because you didn't talk about your baby mamas and all that type of stuff. We get it. We know. But all I'm saying to you is, if we all had, like, even myself, even myself, like, if I could go back and change some things in life, I don't know if it would be, I wouldn't have my wife today, but there would be some things, in business or some other things in life that I would choose to do a little bit different. But I can guarantee you, here's why I say women, ladies, don't get mad at me. It's just that I believe women, even in their arguments today, they'll honestly say, I gave the wrong people my best years of my life. I think women are in a better position to say something like that than men are, because men, we easily just, we easily can just go. That's why we have so many babies out here that's just being raised by the woman, because men could just move on. Women can't just move on as easily as men can. And they always end up with, I don't want to say a mistake, guys, but they end up with the situation that two people who made a baby, they always end up with, majority of the time, they end up with that situation themselves. And then the guy who they consider to be effed up or no good, he's nowhere to be found. Or even if he is, and he may not be doing as much as he should or could and all that. But I think most women believe that if they're a single mom and they had, kids, and I just believe that most of them think that they gave their best years to the wrong guy or wrong guys, more so than men feel that. I don't feel, because I've been married so long. I don't know. Can I ask the guys a question? Like, guys, do you believe that you gave your best years to the wrong woman or the wrong women? I don't think men feel that way. I think women feel more that way.
No, you gave it your all, even though some immaturity.
Yeah, let me read this, twin. Vernon came in. He said, I've disappointed more than a few women in my life, and I'm honestly not proud of it. See, this is honesty, bro. This is the type of conversations we need. Thank you, V. He said, I've disappointed more than a few women in my life, and I'm honestly not proud of it. I let a few potential good wives get away. And maybe that's the guy that a lot of women are saying men ain't shit. V, hear me out, bro. Because
you married now?
Well, I don't know, but what I'm saying to you is he's probably saying that because he knew he had something that probably is someone else's great wife, or he knew he wasn't ready, but he wasn't faking like I don't know, maybe he was faking like he was ready, but he knew he wasn't ready. But what we got to do is, I think we got to put ourselves in a position where we got to be ready a lot sooner. And I think Vernon might agree with that. Because I guarantee you that he felt like he let a good one get away. And somebody else ended up with her, or he ended up with someone that was nowhere near the same value as the woman that he let get away. Guarantee. Thanks, V.
Because I went through that with my second one. I really want to be with her, but when I was ready to really settle down and all that, it was too late.
Yeah.
And everything. And I never thought, twin being player out there, never thought, man, crushed my heart to death. I was crying like a little bill. I admit to it. And man, it really crushed my heart, man. I'm like, man, I thought I was the man. And that's why I had to be honest with women, man. Hey, I got somebody on the side. I got this and stuff. I had to be honest. I used to play a lot and all that, play games.
I get it. I get it.
For real, man.
No, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. And that type of honesty.
Do I regret it? Yeah, I do regret it. But
let's be honest. Let's be real.
About it?
Let's be real.
Really.
Let's be real, twin. That's honest. If you're able to say that to a woman and she's willing to accept that, I'll be honest with you. Her bar is set so low that if she get with a dude that ain't shit, she kind of deserves it. And I know they're gonna be mad at me for saying that, but that's exactly
why
the problem.
Well, yeah, have you ever thought? But you wasn't in the streets heavy, probably. I don't know. Before you got married, but I'm just saying, if you had 20, 30 women or whatever, with 5 or something like that, but
I've never had
and this the right
had
one and all
30
that.
women.
And
I wouldn't even want 30 women in my life. Bro, no. That's just
I'm just a
way
figure
too.
speak. I'm just saying.
Okay,
but
my bad. That could have been an accurate number for you.
But
brother.
I did when I was playing. I had like 4 at the same time, and it was hard. And which one I'm gonna pick today? But I loved her so much. But I guess I was in my immature ways,
you didn't love neither one of them.
I wouldn't let myself open up.
There ain't no way
you can't be with
4 women and love them. That's impossible. Look, you can't be with 4 women and love them, bro.
So, no, I didn't love them. I was liking them, but I loved her most. I didn't say I loved them.
So the other 3, man? Well, I'm just going. You said you had 4 women that you loved. That's what I thought you said.
I didn't mean this. I meant to say I loved her, but I'm a reverse. I loved her, but
which one?
I was liking them.
Out of the 4, you loved just one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
My baby mama, I was loving her, but I was over there and all that, and I was a young boy, man. I was a young boy, and then after I realized, like, man, what the hell I'm doing? I came to reality, like, no, this ain't me, man. I got to drop them off. One thing was for the ride and the money and everything. That's all they want.
Let me ask you this question here, because Fame put this in the comment section. Let me see if you agree with this. I read it, but I want to read it out loud. Fame said, women don't give their best years to the wrong man. They give their most important years to a bad man. Big difference. Do you agree with that?
He said what now?
I'll read it again, because it's a little confusing, because to be honest with you,
he said they give it to a bad man.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I think it's the same thing. I mean, bad, wrong,
depends on the situation.
However you want to name it. But here's what he said. He said, women don't give their best years to the wrong man. They give their most important years to a bad man. Big difference. It all depends on what you consider. It depends
on the situation.
Well, it all depends on what their best years are. You in the streets
and she going to college and all that, and you thought y'all was going to be one happy family. Here it is. Nigga, I wasted my years with you and all that crazy, and this the thanks you give me. And so it can be a little edgy, vice versa type. So, I don't know this. That's how I'm putting it as his answer, but I mean, giving him my opinion on that.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I think they sound the same to me. I mean, I see what he's saying, but it just sounds like words that are different words but have the same meaning, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'll read it out loud.
That's a hard question.
Well, he's just making a statement. He says women
it's a statement, but it's a iffy, like it can be 50-50, like you said.
Well, I think it all depends. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in that statement. He says women don't give their best years to the wrong man. I think they do. But he says they give their most important years to a bad man. That's not necessarily because they decided to be with somebody that's not meant for them. Don't mean that he was necessarily bad. They may have different.
But maybe she's a good girl and she was doing good, and young guy with this thug and
that would fit what he's saying. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but there's situations out there where a guy
leeching off of.
And then there's situations where a guy who's a nice guy is with a woman for different reasons. With a girl during her prime and best years, they're together for maybe other reasons other than maybe he's not a bad guy. He's just not the right guy.
He's a wolf. He wouldn't know. Could be a fox, man. Come out and show your shadow.
Right.
Wolves hang out in the trees and stuff. Fox, let it be known I'm here, nigga.
All right, twin. I gotta go, man. I got other calls. I'm at the top of the hour, bro.
Hey, did you see that fight, man?
Which fight?
Downtown at the game. White folk.
I seen a fight inside the stadium.
Yeah, that one. Did you see the one on the banks too? The black people.
Yeah, I mean, every people fight. I don't know why. Look, man,
I'm
so sick of people putting labels on shit.
Ones, they said there ain't no safe, right?
They said what?
They said it wasn't safe downtown on the banks, right? So what's the uproar about a fight in there? Why y'all ain't report that?
Well, I mean,
they say Joe Burrow ankle or something.
I don't know, but I'm never said that they like the only fight you ever gonna see is outside of nightclubs in the downtown Cincinnati. I was big on telling everybody on this platform that people fight in the stadium, people fight at the baseball games, people fight at the football games. I ain't never said that don't nobody fight. I've always said they fight and they be misdemeanors and they get banned from the stadium.
Uproar about. Hey, why you think I'm about to go after this? You think what I want to say? You think Rodney Hinton, the one ran through the police officer, right? Mm-hmm. The sheriff.
Okay.
You think his people wrong for raising that money for his defense? Because I think his widow tried to go after them, saying that his sister and them using money for something else. And
I'm going to try to say this. Extra. I'm going to try to say this with as much diplomacy as I possibly can. I don't think it's wrong for a family to try to raise money for their loved ones to be defended or whatever. I don't think that's a moral, I don't think there's anything wrong with it morally. Because they still have to do something for their family member and support what their family member is going through. I don't think any of his family members feel great about what he did or feel good about what he did. But bro, he still has to have a defense. Okay. He still has to be able to be treated fairly in a court of law. And sometimes, in most cases, it's very expensive. Now, do I feel, will I donate money? Probably not. That's my prerogative. That's my choice. If you sent $10, I wouldn't be mad at you because that's what you want to do with your money. You might feel like I've been in a space like that before. I felt exactly like how he felt. I didn't do what he did, but I know how it feels to want to do it. I've never felt so mad that I was willing to do what that man did. That doesn't mean that I don't understand like people supporting him because there was the man had a mental breakdown. There's no other way of explaining something like that. This guy was not a criminal. Okay. He's not like somebody that's been out in the streets and causing havoc and I'm not trying to defend it, y'all. I promise you, I don't agree with what he did, but I'll be honest with you and say, he had to have a mental breakdown. Something happened to send this man over the edge because
that's a mental breakdown.
He's not a street dude. He doesn't have all this engagement with the police. So there had to be some mental stuff going there. So I would look at it from that point of view of, I understand when people support people like that, maybe they have a difference of opinion in supporting mental health versus me. I don't feel like that I want to send my money there to do something like that. I choose to do things that other people may not choose to do. You see what I'm saying? Some people didn't like the fact that I supported youth boxing. I mean, they thought that it was a vicious combat sport. And why would you want kids punching each other? And I'm like, okay, they can fight in the ring or they can fight out on the street. Which one would you prefer if you had to pick one? You see what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with what people do with making those type of choices.
Okay. All right, well,
okay,
that's
bro.
all
I appreciate you engaging with us, bro.
Quit hating on my Bears, man. That's all I gotta say.
They better get a little better. That's all I can tell you. Because they're in a beautiful city. I really wish the Bears were good so I can go watch them play. I love Chicago. But, bro, they got to get better. All right, Twin, I appreciate you calling, bro. All right, man.
Okay.
Later. All right. So, yeah, I don't, I try not to get into, first of all, I'm going to say this, it may not be popular. I understand the other family. How are they able to raise money off of this and that and people sending money in? Let me just say this to people, okay? This might be a little bit different than what you're used to hearing from me coming out my mouth. I generally stay out of this type of stuff. But let me just say this. If Twin was to send $10 to that GoFundMe or whatever, that doesn't mean that he supports what the man did. Okay, it doesn't mean that he supports the action of the man. He may have a different, or anybody may have a different perspective of how they want to support mental health, wants to support the man's defense and what he did because of what led to it, the mental breakdown, whatever. the support, the money that goes in may not go towards, hey, I condone that man's actions. If it ever happened again, I'm gonna send $200 next time somebody run into a police officer. I don't think that that's what it says. I don't think it says that. I think it says like, this might be the beginning of someone trying to support mental health. This could open the door of saying, hey, this guy, family, let's be honest, man. Let's just be honest. I don't think any of us agree with what the man did, but let me just say this to you. The man that threw Nilo in the river or got rid of the body, whatever he did. The worst thing that we can all imagine is he threw this young man over the bridge. How tore up would we be if we found that man who committed those crimes on those two innocent people? How would we feel if we found out next week that he was hung in his jail cell? Some people would be like, that's what he get. And then some people would be like, damn, that's messed up. He probably didn't deserve that. Some people think he deserved it. But then some people would be like, he didn't deserve it like that. Like, he didn't deserve that. And that's just the differences of the people. I mean, I'm not mad at the people who say, man, he deserved that shit. Because I got a little bit of that bone in my body that I could be like, well, you know, kind of like you live by the sword, you die by the sword, you treat wrong, you get done wrong. I do have some of that in my body. But at the same time, I do have enough compassion to make myself understand that, you know, because you do people a certain way, don't necessarily mean that you deserve to be done that way. Because like I've been taught by my grandmother, it is not us who is supposed to pass judgment nor punishment on people that do us wrong. They'll get dealt with. I don't know. So I try to stay out of that stuff because I'm neutral. When the guy ran up on him in the courtroom and punched the dude in the face, shit, I was like, lock his ass up. People were mad at me for saying that, but people didn't understand. We talked about this last week. Lock him up so he won't go do what the dad did on the police officer. Put him in jail for an hour, 2 hours, please, judge. Because he don't deserve any more pain than what he's already going through for losing his son and a woman that he probably loved at one time. I don't know. They had a child together. So all I'm saying is, you know, sometimes you got to save people from themselves. So yeah, I was the one saying, oh no, he can't go up there and hit nobody like that. You got to lock him up because he was mentally gone. Who wouldn't be? If you done that to one of my children, I'd probably catch a case. I'd probably catch a case just to be up there with his ass. I don't know if I go that far, but he'll be dealt with. Let me go to the phone lines real fast. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Wyatt. This is Alethea Williams. How you doing?
What's going on, sis? What's happening?
I'm doing wonderful.
What's
I just wanted
mind?
to hit on your topic real quick. The miserable, which one's worse, the miserable single woman or a miserable married woman? Okay. Right. So I would say it would be the woman who's single. And the reason why I would say that is kind of what I got what Thane was saying, but the other part to that, which was you touching on, was a woman who's single can enter into a relationship expecting things that she knows she's not going to get, meaning like a man who tells you off rip that he don't want children, but he could be a perfectly good guy. He's just telling you, right, I don't want kids. Right. But you know in your heart, you want children and you're hoping he changes his mind. Do that make him a bad guy? No, he's just telling you, I'll take care of you. I do what I need to do. I just don't want kids. Or entering into, you feel like you want to be a wife and you have this good guy, but he's telling you, I don't want to be a husband. You know, I'll be a good guy to you. I just won't be a husband. And women enter into those relationships, you know, or dating these guys, being single, because that's not what everybody wants. Everybody don't want the family. Everybody don't want to be married, but they still want to be good to you, per se. So you spend a lot of years miserable because you continue in a relationship or dating someone that you know is not going any further.
Right.
But as a married woman, being miserable could be just miserable with that man of season change. You know, it could just be ran by season. So I don't think that's a long-term season when you're married. It's just things you have to work out. But when you're dating in the single life, that could become permanent because you're waiting for someone to change their mind that's not.
Right. And this could be during her prime time or prime years, if you want to call it. Are you factoring that in there as well?
Yeah, like when you're dating, you know, I know a lot of women that don't want to be a wife because of trauma past or just period, don't want to be a wife. But when they lead into that and put it on the table, a man automatically thinks like, what's wrong with you? You want to marry, you know, or it's looked down upon. Either or, whether it's the man that don't want to marry or the woman, it's looked down upon, but everybody don't feel like marriage is the ultimate per se.
Yeah, I get that. And you know what, to be honest with you, sis, marriage is not for everyone. I get that too.
Right.
But I think,
but then you see it when you get older,
right?
Like you said with Mallet,
right?
Have no idea who he is, but he probably had views, you know, like that. But now he's older, he can see the benefits,
right,
of having a life partner,
right?
And you know, you may have shortened your years when you shouldn't have. That's why I think you said his name was Vernon. When he put that statement in there,
powerful.
It people really think women. I just had this conversation in the salon.
Okay.
Women truly believe, and this could be of any culture, that they built a man, that they built their husbands, they made them to be the best man who they are now, and it's not accurate. Even though we would love to take the credit, but the credit goes to the man. It's just a season that he enters, that he matures, and he wants to put away his childish, immature behavior. And it's not to say you're the best woman, because he done been through good women who could have been good wives. It's just that he wasn't ready.
He wasted them. That's exactly right.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
So you're lucky to be his wife today, but there could have been a wife yesterday if he was mature enough to handle that woman. Right. So I tell women that all the time, like, stop saying you built a man. You did not build this man.
That man was Build-A-Bear when you got him. He went through so many different obstacles, just like you did as a woman. But that man, we generally take a little bit longer in getting prepared for that final commitment. And the reason being is because we're selfish when it comes down to our wants and our needs. But you have to respect the man who's willing to not tie somebody down when he's not ready, because that's not going to lead to anything good either. He's going to definitely go out and do some different stuff because he's not really ready to be where he's at. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And single women, like you said, single women can, like Fang said it, a good woman can waste a lot of their important years not with just a bad guy, with the wrong guy.
Right.
It's just the wrong guy. He's just not ready for what you're ready for. And at that point, you should just take it into your hands. You just move on.
Right.
You know, let him have somebody who is on the same level as him that don't want to marry. That's why it's so unbalanced out here. We're getting with individuals where we know we want more, but we're settling. And that's on both ends, but we're talking about women, so I'm gonna just stick to the woman.
No, that makes total sense.
They settle.
That makes total sense. That's why I don't know if you were here at the beginning when I spoke on this, but I mentioned, I don't know if it's fair for women to say I was with a bad guy. I think if you up your standards and if you up your standards, a bad guy can't waste your time. Because if you allow him into a space that he's not ready for, then he's going to just tear your time up, and he's going to do all the things he needs to do just to be able to do what he want to do. But if you up your standards as a woman, you wouldn't even allow a guy to come in and waste your time, because you can already see that he's not ready for the things that your standards set forth. I mean, you're here, exactly. You're here with what you want. He's not there yet. So don't force him to be there, because he's going to go get somebody. He's going to go get somebody where they're going to allow him to do what you won't let him do. And it's not like you got to let it go. You got to let him go, because as long as y'all stay there, you're going to always have this excuse. And then the good guy, because it works both ways, the good guy who's ready to do those things, now you don't trust him. And you could easily run him away, because now you're doing things and saying things and putting him through certain things that you're doing with these guys that wasn't ready for you. And you know, sometimes people can include very so much men. We've probably had wives that we have just disposed of. And what I mean that, I don't mean is as nasty as it sounds. We, like Vernon said, we have had women in our life that would have been great wives, but we weren't ready. And what we do is, instead of being honest and saying to these women, we're not ready for all of that, we pretend to be ready so we can work in our selfish ways and continue to do and have fun with that woman. And she's loving us, but we're not where she is. Okay. And now when shit go bad, now it's men ain't shit, because he's been deceptive. You see what I'm saying? He's been deceptive during that whole time. And I think that's why women say men aren't shit. Now, I don't know if it's fair to say that a woman that got into a jump off with a man, they end up having a baby, and now she wants to say he ain't living up to his obligations and all that old type of stuff. I think that's a different whole nother situation. Okay. Versus a man entering a woman's life saying that he's all and everything for her and that they gonna do this and they gonna do that, but yet he deep down inside says he wasn't really that. He wasn't that. He was never that. He was just saying and doing what he had to say and do just to stay in her life until maybe something different came along for him, or he just got what he needed. Do you understand? Like, you know, some guys are vicious. They'll run a woman's credit up. They'll get a car. They'll do a lot of things. Yeah, they'll do a lot of things that are vicious, and it'll leave a lady with a very bad stain of men. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what. And then here comes a guy following him who's probably he could be a very good guy, and she sent him through so many problems or so many changes, and it's warranted. I get it. We're human beings, and he just won't tolerate that because he's looking for someone who's more wifey. A woman coming out, and I don't know. Can I say this? Correct me if I'm wrong, sis. I just want to say this, and then you can have the floor. I think a woman who's coming out of a bad relationship, fairly new and bad relationship, is probably not the one that's going to have a good judgment of a husband in the next, like the next guy that come along. He's probably going to have a hard time with that woman. And I'm not saying all. I'm saying in most cases, I've been there earlier in my life where I'm like, this girl just got out of a relationship and she treated me like I was him. You feel what I'm saying? And I mean, like the cheating he was doing, well, she was asking me all the time, where you at? What you doing? All this old shit. And good guys don't want to be bothered with that shit. You see what I'm saying?
Smothering you. Yeah.
Right. We don't want to be drugged through the shit. And then here's the thing. I hate to say this. Good guys know bad guys. Like, we know what bad guys do. We know the signs of a bad guy. We know a guy who ain't really bad. I got friends like that, sis. Your husband know guys. We both know these guys that have been dragging our sisters for years, having babies with them, not doing what they supposed to do with them, and this and this and that. And the good guys sit back and watch them guys get all the girls. We don't know. Ask Donnie. We don't know why that shit happens that way. But the bad guys who ain't shit, always with the cutie pies, they have the most babies, they have the best looking girls, and the good guys sit back and be like, wow. And then the girl want to turn around and get a good guy after she didn't gave up all her great years to the bad guys. And it works that way. It's funny as hell, but we got to get out of that. We got to make some of our young women want the good guys coming out the gate so they won't give up their best years or their most important years to bad guys.
Right. And I will say, because I'm a teen woman, I will say a lot of good women, like, we all have that intuitive. So it's not that these guys are not good guys. It's just they could see the potential. And I think that's what they connect to and what they can relate to is the potential in a guy. Like, yeah, he has a heart. He just needs to change this, and that, and the other. and they wait for the change, until their change. The woman is changed completely.
Yeah.
But a woman definitely have to do some self-reflecting, be accountable, start healing, and then start dating again. Yeah. And I do believe that they'll get their match, because one thing for certain, two things for sure: women who are abused, misused, misled, they always come out on top. Always. So unless you don't learn your lesson and don't heal from it. But I definitely want to say, like, sometimes the guy, you do see the potential. Like you said, you know where you came from, you know what you went through, but you know who the guy you are today. So you could have met many women in between those seasons before you got to who you are, but those women saw the potential before you did.
Okay, what's the potential, sis? Help me out. Help me. Give me an idea of what women see as being a potential in a man that make them say, okay, I'm gonna stick around because he got good qualities. Okay, but
it could be the drive. It could be your drive. It could be the grit. It could be the assertiveness you have. It could be the protection level that you have. Because even when you were talking, you were saying, I don't want a girl to be asking me what I'm doing, whatever. That could just be a protection mode that she's in. It don't necessarily mean she want to keep up with what you're doing. She just want to make sure you're safe,
No, I get it.
And when guys been in a bad situation, that's what the only thing they can relate it to is, you keeping tabs on me. And it's I just want to make sure you're safe to check in. So I think it's just a breakdown of communication sometimes.
Wait a minute, hold on. I meant it in a way. I meant it in a cynical kind of way. I meant it like she's checking in on me all the time. She's seeing what I'm doing all the time. She want to go through my phone. Mm-hmm. She want to do this. I meant it in a way where a woman is coming out of a bad relationship. So
a bad relationship, she's checking you just to make sure I'm not going through this with you too.
Like you've been the one dragging her for the last 2-3 years. She was in a bad relationship. So I meant it in a cynical way. I meant it like,
well, you're paying the price.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. The reason why I asked you that question is because of this reason here. You said you want to, if the man has the potential. See, I think I just want to know something when you say something like that. Are you talking about this man has the potential to be something in life, or is he?
That's the only thing I was speaking of in life and as a partner, as a life partner.
Well,
so
those are two different things.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, sis. I'm just saying because I wasn't quite finished. But those are two separate things. What you just said, having potential to be successful in life doesn't mean that he has the potential of being a husband. I think that you have to, as a woman, I would think that y'all would want to know, is this the kind of man that's married? He can be married to someone. Is he is he a committed type of guy? And because what a lot of women don't understand is this. Once a man is married to a woman, whether they're successful or not, that marriage makes that man go harder. See, that commitment makes him go harder.
I said that, and I hate to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
The reason why I said in life and as a life partner, whether you married or not, that don't make your commitment stronger, if that makes sense.
Say that again. Say that again, sis.
Just because you're married don't mean your loyalty is there. Your commitment. That's what marriage is to me, is lifetime commitment. Some marriages go through infidelity because they're entertaining other people. So when I say life, when successful in life and a life partner, I mean loyalty. So I am a married woman and I adore my husband. But if he would have made a better boyfriend, then I would have stayed a girlfriend forever because he's a good man. And if he didn't want marriage, I wouldn't force it because I'm in a good, solid, loyal relationship. So marriage doesn't define your loyalty. You probably have friends that was out cheating on the wives, things like that. So when you say marriage, it's that word flexes. So that's why I said life partner. When you date for potential, you could see in a man early on what he's capable of before the man sometimes.
Okay,
even your wife, I'm sure your wife's seen some things in you, or vice versa, but we are women. Your wife seen some things in you before you knew you can achieve it. She saw the grit. She seen the blood, sweat, and tears you pushed towards something else. So when you say to her, hey, I want to do this business, she's backing you before you can get the sentence out. So that's what I'm saying. Like when I say date because of potential, like you really could see it. Like there's a right when you have a good man, there's this energy that comes from a man that lets you know, oh my God, he's not bad. He's just having gone through a little rough time. And they do it through marriage too. I'm just saying every woman and every man don't have to be married to have the loyalty.
No, I get it. But I think what happens, I don't know how to say this the right way, so I'm going to say it the only way I know how to say it. I think a man, and I can only speak from a man's point of view, and I think most men will, even men that are married and men that are not married, I'm going to say this. I believe, I don't know who this James guy is on YouTube, but bro, I don't know who you are, bro, but you might want to come. You're welcome here. And let me get my point out here. You're welcome here, bro, but I don't know if you know me like that to be saying some shit like that. All right. Now I ain't the type to start no shit, but like if you're gonna serve shit like that, I will return. I will return to serve. But I don't think that what we're talking about is about ass kissing. I think it's about relationship perspectives going in and coming out of them. James says this. James Benta from on YouTube says, Wyatt, you do too much kiss ass with these women on your podcast. They got you punked. Well, it's not even that statement.
Wow.
It's not even that statement that I shouldn't even read this shit, but just so you know, because you probably a one-time visitor or you're a bot or some old shit. I don't know. But he says all or most these women in this podcast have multiple baby daddies. That's not a good thing and proves they fell for the same BS. Now, first of all, you passing judgment on people you don't even know. I've never seen you here, but to sit here and say that my listeners have multiple babies by multiple men, that's not a fair statement to make. So unless you're going to come with something that's going to start making a little bit more sense, bro, I'm not saying keep your comments to yourself, but at least say something that makes some sense. Come with something that really makes us, that's bringing something that we can have a conversation about versus arguing or looking for these micro victories or some old shit. That just doesn't make any sense. But now let me just say this about what you said, sis. I truly believe that when a man says I do, and he puts a woman in his wife category, I think that men tend to go harder. I think men tend to take on more responsibility once we take a woman as a wife. Do you understand? Like, I think that men tend to use that marriage as a motivation of urgent. It's an urgency of, I got to make sure that we're good. I don't know if men necessarily do that. And I know this ain't going to sound good, but this is just my opinion. And I could be totally off base. I don't think the boyfriend feels the same way. He's definitely strong on his woman, but a boyfriend always in his mind has options. He can love you to death. But I believe that once you make a woman your wife, it's definitely a harder, you go harder, you grind, and you see that female as a partner and a unit. That's my opinion. I think that men, here's the thing. I come from a family, sis, where I got men.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, let me just say this one thing, and then it might answer. Okay. I come from a family, and I've seen this in other families. That's where we from, where a man will date a woman, and he been with her for 27 years, been with her for 25 years. And I say to myself, I don't question how they moving and what they doing. It's not fair. But I do say to myself, in my mind, I'm talking to him like, what the fuck are you waiting for, bro? Y'all been together 27 years. This is somebody that, you know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, he love her. They love each other. But I guarantee you, he's missing something in life that he could achieve if they were married, because he would go harder for it. I know that sounds a little ridiculous, but it seems that men that are married have a different level of it's us when they say I do. And that's why you see a lot of brothers, including Mallet Head, my man, I forgot, Dwayne and them, few people got married this weekend that I grew up with. And I'm like, they getting it. My brother Tico got married. Donna no T. These are guys that's 50 years old are now starting to say, hey, man, I'm starting to get this. I understand. In order for me to be a so-called king, I really got to have a queen. And a queen is a different commitment when you say I do and you have this unit and y'all, I mean, it makes men go harder. I feel like if I fail as a single man and I have just a girlfriend, then I feel like I'm kind of like, okay, I can get a couple of dollars. She can put me on my feet. But as a married man, if I fail, my house collapsed. I failed us. As a single man, I ain't never failed with a woman. I failed myself. But with a wife, I gotta go harder because we will fail. Go ahead, sis. That's just my opinion on that.
Oh, I just have one question.
Okay.
Do you think men, or some men, I shouldn't say all men, do you think some men will marry a woman they're not even attracted to?
Yeah, happens every day. Happens every day. You mean?
So as a woman, with you knowing you're a man, I'm a woman, knowing that, do you think women would be okay? And I'm just saying this because that Black marriage thing always comes up of our numbers being lower than any other culture.
Right.
Do you think our Black women understand it and don't want to be in that percentage of being married and still not having the trust or the stability that they need for their family? They just rather stay single, raise their families, and have it a clean break.
No, I think personally, to be honest with you, just my opinion, sis, I think the reason why Black marriage is low in our community is because we don't promote marriage. I think the reason why most
healthy
guys, marriage, period. It's never really a talk about. I mean, men ain't bringing that shit up. Men, a single man will stay single. A guy who had a mama and he was raised by a woman, he ain't talking marriage like that to. I mean, he, eventually maybe, but that ain't how we lead now. We ain't meeting no woman out here in the clubs or out here in this world and saying, hey, I'm looking for a wife. If so, he probably trying to get her guard down a little bit. But most men who was raised in an unmarried home, they're not even really thinking about marriage until a little bit later on in life, once they understand what marriage is really all about.
Yeah, I don't think and it's just opinion based, this is not factual. I just think Black women would rather be happy by themselves versus miserable in a relationship.
I hear you, and that makes sense. I hear you, but it makes sense. But I think what happens is this. I think that Black women tend to have their guards up, and they also have standards that they have set, and they're no longer like I said, and this is not going to sound good, but I got to put the medicine in the candy. They've been through the song and the dance. They've been through the bullshit. They probably raised a kid on their own. I mean, the marriage statistics show, and single mothers raising a kid without a father home. All these numbers show that what I'm about to say is true. I think a woman, the Black woman who hasn't been married to her kids and fathers and shit like that, I just think that personally that they don't want to get married to. They want to get married, but they just have their guard up and they don't want to go through the same shit they went through in their 20s and their 30s. And I think it to a point where they don't want to go through that bullshit. You see what I'm saying? And then at the same time, the nucleus of a man who's not really ready, by that time, a 30-year-old, 35, 40-year-old woman already know what she's dealing with when a man is approaching. She know if the man is serious about commitment, want to be a family and a unit and all that together. She also knows if he there just to have a good time. She got this shit already figured out just by watching how he
that's what we just talked about.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a bad nucleus.
You knowing what you're into. But a woman who marries into that, I don't think they're miserable at all. I think they're probably more upset with themselves because they allow themselves to get into that marriage with knowing. Every woman who walks down the aisle, they know what they're getting into. Nothing is a surprise. Having extra women, having extra children, none of this is a surprise to them. They know what they were getting into. But singles, you're constantly finding out, and it's up to you just to get that oomph to say, move on. I don't care how much you got vested, if If it's not what you want, you just have to move on. Even if that don't make our percentages go up in marriage, it's okay to be by yourself and having that top tier expectations for a man. Like, it's okay to have that. I don't feel like women should be looked down upon because they're not married due to they're not accepting behaviors that they know they can't handle.
Who do you think, sis? This is an important question. Who do you think look down on sisters because they're not married? Who in society does that? Who do you think doing that?
Black men. Black men.
So the same men that don't want to get married are looking down on black women because they're not married. That doesn't make any sense.
What I've seen recently, they're making excuses for why they date outside their race to make it seem legit.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that it may be true, but maybe in that person's mind, the reason why he doesn't date inside his race, or he's opened up the options for other, he's entertaining other options. There might be a level of truth based on his experiences, because you just said it yourself. If he's dealing with women and this man is not ready to get married and all that old shit yet, but then he finally gets to a point where he's ready to settle down and all that, he may have all his options open, and it might not be a sister, and it may not be for any other reasons that you might think it is. It might just be.
But you can look down on sisters because of the type of black women that you chose to date. And same thing you just said for us. I can sit here and I could listen to a man all day long, and I won't criticize, I won't disagree, but just understand, just like we choose wrong men to lay down with or have several baby daddies, what the guy just said, men do the same thing.
Absolutely. Those are the ones that are creating all the problems. That same man that you just described, the guy that you're saying men do the same thing, that's the guy that has multiple babies by the women that are all the same. It's not a bunch of brothers out here just having random babies.
Their baby mothers usually reflect one another. They look just alike. They're a lower class of woman. Like, to me, you can't put all black women, even in your chat. There's different tiers of women in your chat. But you can't say because they're not married that they're not capable of being a wife.
No, I've never said that.
They have higher expectations than maybe another married woman who may have lowered her standards to marry somebody that she has to take care of. Versus,
I can name 10 women that's in the chat that I know are quality women that can get married in a year if they really wanted to. But the problem with them is not really them. They just don't want to lower their standards just to be married.
Deal with the mess.
Just to be married.
That's why I don't like. It's everywhere I go. I mean, it's dinner topics. We went to Columbus. It was a topic there, and we're in a 5-star restaurant. We having this discussion. It even happened at the NICU reunion where I'm looking like, wow, like y'all really think black women are not married because they're not qualified wives?
That's not what it is. That's not what it is.
This is crazy to me.
I'm gonna give it the truth that this whole topic needs. The reason why black women are not married is because black men don't want to be married. I ain't never heard a woman, other than a woman that's been drugged by a bunch of bullshit in her life, not say she don't want to be married. I don't honestly think a woman could stare me in my face and tell me I don't want to ever get married, especially one that's never been married. I don't know any woman that could say to me honestly that they don't ever want to get married and never wanted to be married. I'm not suggesting that there's something wrong with that person. I just think that those are the ones that kind of have the higher standards, or the ones that just won't sacrifice themselves just to be married. Okay, I that's my personal belief. Some might think I'm on some ass kiss stuff, but that's not what it is. I think that I'm a man, and I know that I ain't grow up hearing none of my friends say they wanted to get married, because we didn't have examples of marriage. We didn't have examples of the Cosby Show. That shit was on television. It was never in our court, in our neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? So it was never promoted. I can tell you right now, I'll give you a perfect example. When I was in school, in elementary school, and I remember teachers only asking, is your mama gonna come tomorrow for teacher conference? They never asked where we from. They never be, you know, your parents coming. That was never some shit that was said in our school. It was always your mama gonna be here. Your mama coming. Your mama coming to the game tomorrow. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's the major conversations in our, you know, for decades in our community. Now we're better. 2025 is a whole different thing. I think more people, and see, like Donna, that's my girl. That's like auntie to me. Here's the thing. She says, I don't want to marry. I don't want to be married. Excuse me. She wrote it twice. She fixed it. She said, I don't want to be married. But Donna, you can't honestly say you ain't never wanted to get married. That wouldn't even, what woman can honestly say, I ain't never wanted to be married? See,
what was dreams about being a little girl, like your fairy tale.
But hold on, let me just say this, because
most women had
Donna is a beautiful,
down,
Donna is a beautiful woman. Okay. But let me just say this to you. Donna, the reason why you don't want to be married, it ain't got nothing to do with you think marriage is bad. It's because of the shit you've gone through in life that has defeated marriage. And now you think marriage is not really worth being in because of the shit that you've been through in life. And maybe that's, you know, maybe Mr. Right to come along who felt the same way you felt, and y'all will end up changing each other's mind.
It's true, because when a woman hears the word submission, leadership, you know, it do make you take a step back, like, whoa, like another person makes decisions for me. You have an input, but you have to allow your husband to have the leadership of the home. And it's very important because Black women, we have been independent. We've been raised to be, no matter if there's a Black man in your home or not, a father, you're raised to be independent. And I know you raised your girls, and you have a beautiful marriage, but I know you raised your daughters to be independent, and to take that away, that strength, that power, and give it to a man and say, okay, here you go. You know, you have to be in love. You have to trust. You have to have that loyalty. You have to feel safe with that man to give him all that, because it's control.
Well,
it's
see,
control.
That's what I think.
And it's important for a Black woman. I'm sorry, Wyatt. I'll be done after this. But once you give that to a husband and he fumbled the ball, that's hurtful. You know, it's hurtful. I don't want to push any woman if they feel like I don't want to be married. It's a little bit more deeper than just trauma of being in bad relationship. That's a lot of commitment and loyalty to give to someone that they don't take as important as I would. If you're depending on me, just know I'm gonna come through. Anybody, if I give you my word, I'm there.
Right.
You know, but as for a man, I could never fulfill a man's shoes. There's so much a man has to do in his day, and then including being a husband. I'll call my husband before I'll call 911. I mean, it is what it is. But when you find that person will change LaDonna's her mind. Like I guarantee you. Like it's just something you feel. It's the energy that you could trust them.
She just said, I've been married before, Wyatt. And like I said, I knew once upon a time in your life, somewhere down the line, you wanted to be married. You wanted to get married. That was my whole point. I'm not saying that you were in a great marriage or a bad marriage, or you know, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that that I just believe, and see, let me just say something about what you just said, sis. I think women, especially Black women, because I don't think this is gonna sound bad. God, you know, I got more than just Black folks that watch this show. So I don't want to have to be careful what I say, but I am a little conscious.
Just say it's all right. We all adults. I think you got a wonderful platform for the conversation. I'm glad we're on it.
I appreciate it, and I think so too. But I want people to understand that I think that Black women have the wrong perception when it comes to marriage, because I think that some of the strongest women on this planet obviously are Black women. And I think what you just said kind of steers my point of what some of the problem is. And that is this. You just said relinquish power. I don't know if I want to give the power up to the man like that. And I think a lot of Black women have this thing about, I don't know if I really want to be submissive. I don't know if I want to give up my power. I don't know if I want to. And the only reason that somebody would think something like that is wrong to do is that they're afraid that the man that's in that spot won't do them right. And that comes from experience.
Yep, that's true.
That comes from experience. The only reason why you don't want to be submissive to a man is because somebody raised you to be independent on your own, and you're afraid that somebody might fail you. And it's coming from all the experiences you had with the guys that you said wasn't shit. And what I'm saying to my sisters is this: I get it. I am not mad at you for that. However, marriage is not about that man being in control all the time. It's not about him being the boss. It's not. If you married to the right person, you'll obviously see that that man is doing everything in life for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Not.
And it's a beautiful feeling. I just had to tell my husband the other day. I sat there. I said, I literally turned my brain off today. Turned it off. I mean, sometimes we have to power down, but he did everything we needed to do. The schedule, we was on time, took care of the kid. Mm-hmm. You know, we did this thing. Like I said, you are fantastic. Like super fantastic. He didn't know that I needed to turn my brain off just for a power down and I could power back up.
See that partnership.
But he just, yes, and to let him lead, it showed me like you made the right choice. Sis, like you're definitely doing what God told you to do. Sis, your belief, and keep building them up. You don't build a man, but you can support him. Sis, you can help motivate him.
Let me say this to you about that. I really gotta go though. Can you fall back and listen to this one? I gotta go. I'll talk to you on the next one though. Okay, but I do want to address something that you just said. All right, sis, I appreciate you being here. And thanks for engaging.
Have a great evening.
All right. Thanks, babe. I think, I guess I can end on this note. I think, like Mama Birch just said, it's hard to give up your power if you have been in power for a long time. If you ever ask me why Black women don't get married, it's because they have to raise, in most cases, they've always been the leader in the household. Leader in the household. They've always been the one that had to make sure shit was done. They've always had to make sure the bills were paid. They always had to make sure certain things was, the kids was in school. They were getting their shots. They always had to be the one that made sure shit got done. And now you want that person who watched their mother do all of that, watched their grandmother do all of that, and now you're doing all of that. You want me to stop and do some traditional shit and give all that responsibility over to somebody who can fail me? Traditionally, when you see somebody being the head of the household, my grandmother was the head of our household. Think about this shit. You become the head of the household and you don't want to relinquish any of that so-called power. It's not power, it's responsibility. Okay, you don't want to relinquish that because you ain't never really seen a man heading up your household. You ain't never seen it. Your granddaddy wasn't there. My granddaddy wasn't there. My mama had me. I had no daddy. So now if I'm a female, it's my turn to be the head of the household. Ain't no man about to do this shit for me because it wasn't no man. I ain't never seen a man do no shit like that. You're not even prepared for a husband. And then you're like me. I ended up getting married, not knowing anything about marriage, and then I had to learn on the go. See, you got to understand, there's an advantage of people whose parents were married because the father is going to teach the son how to be a husband. The mother's going to teach the daughters how to be wives. But if you don't have any of that growing up, then the first time, hopefully the last time, first and only, you're on the go. You're learning how to be a unit because you've never seen a unit operate. It's always been your mother. It's always been your grandmother. And that's where our community has suffered. And not all, because I know some people who had mothers and fathers in the home and all that old shit. And what I've learned, if you really look at consistency of marriage, generally people who get married come from a marriage home. Their mother and father was married. Their grandparents was married. It's a pattern because you're taught to repeat these patterns. Now, it don't have anything to do with if you pick the right person or not. But most people that come, Mama Deb and all them. Mama Deb married to Paul White. They've been married for 50 years. Every one of their damn kids is married. Maybe the one daughter not. I don't know. But they got 4 kids. Maybe 5. 3, 2, 5. And they all went off to be good, productive individuals, and they got families of their own. Now I get when I was younger, they used to watch me play sports and all that old shit. Now I'm watching his kids have kids, and all those kids are out there having sports. They're families now. Their kids had kids, got married. It's just basically what you're used to being around. And when you're taught what these things mean, it's a little easier to do them yourself. See what I'm saying? It's just a little easier to do them yourself. When you're taught, like you said, thank you, Mama Bird. She said taught behavior. That's why you have so many think tanks out here. You have so many people out here that think the same shit, because not only are you you're not just now hearing what you hear, you just hear from different people. You were taught to think a certain way. Now they putting that certain way in front of you. So now that way must be true. I gotta go, y'all. Peace and love to everybody, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here on Wyatt Live. Peace to everybody. I'll holla.
Hey, this is Skira. Welcome to the celebration. You brothers and sisters have finally reached the pinnacle of funk. But before I proceed, I need to hit a funk at first the funk, the whole funk, and not the body funk. You should all be baptized in the funk.
Baptized in the funk. Yeah. So funky vibe. So let's take a ride with the breath. Tap, 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 tap on that hand. Open up your doors, let the funk flow in from this homie Jay and his newfound friend. I'm hitting switches like Eric on the solo creek for yo G. It's the B-R-A-T. Putting a dip in your hip from right to left. And on top of all that, I'm so deaf. Boy, yo, that's my clique. Hey, homie, that's who I rose with. And we kicks nothing but the fetish. Them calls me the funkified, funkalistic, vocalistic that they ain't ready for, but they just don't hear me though. Because we're so funkified. We make it move from side to side. We're coming straight from the 606 boat is the Brett and JD. Big baby. So lay back and listen as I catch up on my pimpin' and freak this duet just like Ashford and Simpson, cause I'm and ain't too many hoes that can hang with me. It's like that, and as a matter of fact, when it comes to the brat tat tat tat, I make your neck snap back. Meaning I got the hit that'll get you bent. Tear the roof off this mother like Parliament. I'm on a rolling control like Janet. Damn it, Brad, you're the funk bandit and they can't handle it. I know, that's why I keep hitting them with this grammar, letting all y'all know that I'm the real mamma jammer. Straight to the head like a chronic sack. I passed the mic to the Brad, and yo, I passed it back. Well, sisters and fellas, it's time to get your groove on. I provide the funkified sounds that make you move home. Breaking these fools off proper like it's S-O-S-O-D-E-F dynamite. Right. Coming up at you like Ralph K. And since this ain't no honeymoon, I'm here to stay. And the way we're coming at you, baby, we can't miss. There's a new tag team in town. Whoop,